Chapter 452. Why don't we go somewhere else? Zhu Lingling suggested when she saw that Huamin's expression wasn't too good. Huamin nodded. To be honest, he felt really bad when he saw Lady Qin. He really didn't like her. Maybe it was because the conflict and resentment between them were so deep that they couldn't be easily resolved. Just as they were about to leave, Lady Qin suddenly turned around and saw Huamin. She immediately walked over and stopped her. Why are you hiding when you see me? Are you scared of me? You uneducated thing. It's so depressing to see you here. You must be joking. Sometimes, I don't hide because I'm scared. I just hate it. It's like when I'm walking and I see asshole. Am I supposed to step on it? Of course I hide because it's disgusting. Huamin smiled calmly. Are you saying that I'm disgusting? Lady Qin raised her voice and attracted the attention of a few other rich ladies. I didn't say anything. You're the one who took it for granted. Lady Qin, who is she? A few rich ladies came over to watch the show. They looked at Huamin as if she were an animal. It made her very uncomfortable. She's just a piece of trash that my son played with 7 years ago. Lady Qin didn't give Huamin any face. She never cared about what she said in public, probably because she hated Huamin to the core. Auntie Qin, you're going a bit overboard. Zhu Lingling couldn't stand it anymore and spoke up for Huamin. Don't try to get close to me. Who's your auntie? Do I know you? Don't think that you're a socialite just because you're wearing designer clothes and carrying designer bags. You're just trying to imitate others. You don't have the aura of nobility, yet you pretend to be rich. Poor kids. You're all scheming bitches. I hate poor people like you who pretend to be pitiful and try to get sympathy. Lady Qin kept referring to poor people. It was obvious that she had a huge problem with the gap between the rich and the poor. As soon as she said that, the other noble ladies started whispering to each other, yes, we have the same thoughts as you. We look down on these poor people the most. Not only do they look poor, but they also deliberately wear branded bags to dress themselves up. They don't know that they don't have the fortune to be rich. Even if they wear a dragon robe, they don't look like an emperor. Hee, that's right. This girl really doesn't know how to love herself. How old was she 7 years ago? She threw herself at him. It must be because your young master is too charming. The words were getting more and more unpleasant, but Huamin didn't look angry at all. She just smiled. What are you laughing at? Some people are ugly by nature, but they can't see it. They always think that others are ugly. Their hearts are not beautiful, so they feel that the whole world owes them. They don't know that it's their own problem. How sad. Huamin didn't curse on the streets like they did because he felt that it would be too demeaning. Therefore, when Lady Qin heard the deeper meaning behind his words, she immediately became angry. Don't think that I can't tell just because you're scolding me in a roundabout way. Let me tell you, as long as I'm alive, you can forget about entering my house. Oh, really? Then I'll have to enter your house. Let's see where your front door opens. If you dare, I'll definitely kick you out. Sure, then I'll kick your son out as well. It's best if he doesn't come home. I'm sorry, I don't have time to talk to you. I'll see you next week. I'll visit you and your husband next week. Remember to prepare dinner and wait for us. After speaking, Huamin smiled sweetly and waved at Lady Qin. Lady Qin was so angry that she rolled her eyes. Luckily, her heart was strong. Otherwise, she would have collapsed to the ground. Compared to scolding someone, sometimes smiling and infuriating them was the scariest thing. After they walked out of the mall, Zhu Lingling gave Huamian a thumbs up. Good, very good. Ha, you didn't see how Qin Chu's mother looked, her face was green. I was already very polite to her. I haven't even properly dealt with her for what she did to my mother. Huamin said coldly, so, are you planning on fighting a war of attrition with his mother? Zhu Lingling was worried about the relationship between Huamian and Huamian. Huami nodded. Then have you thought about how Qin Chu would react if he found out that you did something to his mother? If this continues, won't it affect your relationship? No matter how bad his mother is, she's still his biological mother, Zhu Lingling asked worriedly. Chapter 453. I used to think too much, so I was afraid of the wolf and missed out on a lot of things. After being separated from Qin Chu for 7 years, I was like a zombie, living like a machine every day. After he came back, I felt like I found my true self again. Jixin was right, life is short, we can't always think too much and worry too much. Let's take it one step at a time. I know that being with Qin Chu right now is my greatest happiness. Huamin slowly said these words, everyone has their own way of living, don't tire yourself out. Qin Chu is Qin Chu, and his mom is his mom. You're living with him, not his parents. That brat Jixin is young, but his words are very reasonable. It seems like I'll have to ask him for advice if I ever get into trouble in the future. Seeing that Huamin wasn't so sensitive and didn't think too much, Zhu Lingling also let out a sigh of relief. Otherwise, she and Gao Ran would be exhausted just by reading their story. After shopping around with Zhu Lingling, they went home separately. Huamin bought a lot of vegetables, fruits, and meat, and the fridge was full of them. She took out her phone, carefully took a picture, and posted it on her WeChat friend circle. Every time I see the fridge being so friendly, I feel so happy. Qin Chu immediately commented, this fridge is too ugly, I'll change it tomorrow. Ahem, you're jealous of the fridge, are you a man or not? Don't you know if I'm a man or not? Huamin was speechless. Gao Ran then commented below, everyone, come and watch. This couple is so dirty in broad daylight, they're blinding me. Is it because the security in Sea City has been so good lately that you're bored? Qin Chu replied coldly. They were having so much fun in the comments, I'm not going to talk nonsense with you guys, you're going to break my fridge. Huamin put down her phone and went into the kitchen after replying to all of them. By the time Qin Chu got off work, she had already made 4 dishes and a soup. The truth was, Huamin was a woman who lived a good life. She ate well and slept well. She never mistreated herself. Some women were very poor and didn't want to eat or drink, so they gave it all to their husbands and sons. In the end, her husband would cheat on her with a mistress, because no man would like a haggard woman. Therefore, Huamin thought that while she was fat and fair, she also had to feed Qin Chu well. He couldn't allow him to be so eye-catching and dazzling. Dinner's ready. Huamian clapped her hands with a smile when she saw Qin Chu walk in. So much good food. Qin Chu looked at the table full of dishes. Yeah, Lingling and I went shopping. There wasn't much to buy, but we bought a lot of ingredients. Try it, it's my first time making Sichuan cuisine like spicy boiled fish. Qin Chu took off his jacket and washed his hands. He saw a big metal bowl on the dining table with red chili peppers on it. It looks good. Hurry up and eat, it'll get cold soon. They made a spicy boiled fish and 3 stir-fried vegetables. The 2 of them ate happily. Huamin was very talented at cooking. After all, she had a high IQ and could learn anything. She took less than half a year to learn what other people took 10 years to learn. Therefore, even though it was her first time making spicy boiled fish, it was still super delicious. Qin Chu didn't even look up during the entire meal and just ate with his head down. However, Huamin felt a sense of accomplishment. Honey, yeah. I bumped into your mom when I was shopping today and we got into an argument. Min put down her chopsticks and confessed. Chapter 454. Emichim, and then. Who won? Chu asked nonchalantly. Ahem, I won. I think I made your mom really mad. Min thought Chu would tell her not to lower herself to the old woman's level and try to persuade her. To her surprise, he actually said, "Well done, wifey." But isn't she your mother? Min felt awkward. You're my wife too. Chu answered matter-of-factly. So all men forget about their mothers after they get married? Min asked half-jokingly. Of course not, I'm just stating facts. If you bullied my mom for no reason, I would have scolded you. But I know my mom too well. She likes to stir up trouble and has a sharp tongue. You don't like to stir up trouble, so you know who's to blame. With my mom's temper, she needs to be taught a lesson. Otherwise, my dad and I won't have a good life. Alright, what you said makes sense. Chu was a man who knew what was right and wrong. He knew what kind of person Min was, so he didn't blame Min for arguing with his mother. He didn't blame her because he knew that Min knew what she was doing and wouldn't argue with his mother for no reason. The next morning, Min was working the night shift, so she didn't have anything to do during the day. After breakfast with Chu suggested that she come to GK. I don't think so. If you go to the meeting, what will I do? You can read in the office. I have tens of thousands of books on my bookshelf. You can read as much as you want. Okay, in the end, Min was convinced. She got into Chu's car and went to GK headquarters. Chu didn't like to be late, so every time he came to work, it was the peak hour for his employees. Most people already knew about the president's girlfriend, but there were still a few who hadn't seen Min in person. Min was only wearing a pair of black wide-legged pants and a white slim-fit suit with 8-quarter sleeves. He had the temperament of a senior executive. When she was with such an outstanding Chu, her aura did not lose to his at all. She was very magnanimous. Every frown and every smile was extremely elegant. Min didn't expect to see Wang Tao, the man from the technical department, on the first floor. He was the man who had struck up a conversation with her at Seductive Fox. Wang Tao did not expect to see this woman here. At that time, he was so scared that he almost peed his pants. Because she was playing with the CEO's arm, it seemed that everything was real. She was indeed the CEO's woman. When Min glanced at Wang Tao, he immediately recognized him. However, she didn't stay for long. She pretended that she didn't remember and ignored it. Wang Tao was scared half to death. Fortunately, he didn't recognize him. Otherwise, if he complained to the president, he would definitely lose his job. Supervisor Wang, what's wrong? You don't look well, a colleague asked. Oh, it's nothing. That woman is the president's girlfriend. Wang Tao asked anxiously. Yeah, everyone's seen her. You probably didn't notice, but even though the president hasn't officially introduced her to everyone, I'm sure she's the boss's wife. After all, the president has never been so nice to a woman. Even Assistant Yang has to respectfully greet her as young madam. Oh, I see. Wang Tao was so scared that he was sweating profusely. He didn't even dare to take the elevator. Instead, he climbed up to the 7th floor and returned to the technical department. Then, he didn't dare to leave the headquarters for the rest of the day. He was scared that he would run into Min and be recognized. Inside the president's office, Chu went to a morning meeting. Min sat alone on the sofa, reading The Ordinary World. Assistant Yang personally poured a cup of coffee for her. He even ordered the secretaries to prepare snacks for the morning tea. The service was very good. Huamin inadvertently looked up and glanced at Qin Chu's desk. To her surprise, there was an exquisite photo frame on Qin Chu's desk. The photo in the photo frame was of her from 7 years ago. She had a ponytail, a youthful face, and a carefree smile. Just then, the office door was pushed open. Chapter 455. What are you looking at? Why are you so engrossed? As soon as Qin Chu walked in, he saw Huamin standing in front of his desk. I'm looking at this. Why did you keep it? It's so ugly. Huamin smiled as he pointed at the photo. Says who? I think this is your most beautiful moment. So you're saying that I don't look good now? Of course not, I just want to keep the beautiful memories of the past. When I have time, I'll take it out and reminisce about the time I lost. This photo is very important to me. Qin Chu didn't directly say that during the 7 years he was in the States, he relied on this photo to get through the 4 seasons where he missed Huamin day and night. However, Huamin could tell from his eyes. She coquettishly wrapped her arms around Qin Chu's neck and said, that photo isn't nice, it's from so many years ago. When you're free, let's go take our wedding photos. We're going to the Maldives for our wedding photos, we can't just make do. Qin Chu lovingly kissed her on the cheek. How's the morning meeting? Did it go well? It's the same every day. Qin Chu said as he sat back down on his chair. He opened his laptop and pulled up the stock market for the day. Honey, there's something I want to talk to you about. What is it? I want to drive to Dong Tao Town this afternoon. Dong Tao Town. Are you going to investigate that? Qin Chu stared into her eyes and asked. Huamin nodded, don't go yet, I already sent someone to investigate for you. What? You investigated? When did this happen? Huamin was a little surprised. I just received a reply yesterday. You didn't even mention it to me. Huamin complained. After all, this was a big deal for her. Qin Chu was silent for a few seconds. Then, he took out a brown envelope from his drawer and tossed it to Huamin. It's all here. Take a look for yourself. It's not good news, so I wasn't in a hurry to tell you. Huamin couldn't wait to take the craft paper bag. He opened it and looked at the information. His face became more and more unsightly. Then, Qin Chu said, Dr. Lan, who helped Yang Meirong deliver her baby, moved away with her whole family 3 years after you were born. No one knows where they went. Even the relatives and friends nearby don't know where they went. The previous hospital director, Zhu Haiqing, passed away due to cerebral infarction 2 years ago. The strangest thing is the last piece of news. The medical center's database caught fire the year Dr. Lan moved away. It destroyed a lot of birth records. Basically, we can't find any birth certificate stubs for the children born in those years. This is really too strange. Huamin felt chills all over his body. That's right. I think it's really strange too. With so many strange things happening, it can only mean one thing. Someone is deliberately hiding something. Maybe it has something to do with your background. But now, all the clues to my background have been cut off. Huamin was a little dispirited. She thought she would be able to find her biological parents soon, but all the clues were cut off. Don't worry. No matter how perfect the cover is, the truth is still the truth. There will always be flaws. But, I have a big hypothesis. Qin Chu wanted to say something, but he stopped. What hypothesis? Huamin looked up at him in confusion. I think your background might be special. Your parents might be special people. Otherwise, the mastermind wouldn't have gone to such great lengths to hide your background. What do you think? Huamin didn't say anything, but she knew that Chin Chu was right. If it was really like what she thought, it was just a mistake. It shouldn't be so complicated. So many strange things wouldn't happen. Dr. Lan's entire family disappeared. The hospital caught fire. Everyone who knew about the incident back then couldn't be found. The only person who might know, Uncle Jing, was already dead. He didn't say anything before he died. All of this was too strange. Don't worry, I'll continue to help you. I won't give up on your chance to find your biological parents. Chin Chu walked over and sat beside Huamin. He put his arm around her shoulders and comforted her. I have a feeling that they're still alive. They must be somewhere in this world. Huamin said word by word. Do you plan to tell your mother and Jixin about this? Chin Chu asked again. Chapter 456. Huamin shook his head. I don't plan on telling her. My mom's health isn't good to begin with, and she can't take the blow. She doesn't know and always thinks that I'm her biological daughter. I'm afraid that she won't be able to take it if I tell her the truth. As for Jixin, I don't plan on telling him either. If I tell him, it'll ruin a lot of relationships. Plus, I haven't found my biological parents yet, so I'll tell them when I get in touch with them. Okay, that's good. Honey, when I have time, I want to go to Dong Tao Town and look for clues. Then, I want to see the town where I was born. Every time I think about how my biological parents gave birth to me, I want to go there and see for myself. Okay, I'll go with you after I'm done with work. If you want, we can stay there for a few days. Huamin nodded. At noon, Huamin ate lunch with Chin Chu at the company. In the afternoon, Chin Chu went to the construction site to investigate. Huamin took a taxi home. He wanted to take advantage of the holidays to do some cleaning. However, to his surprise, he received a call from Shinjiani. With her unique voice, she said sweetly, Huamin, let's meet up. Auntie has something to talk to you about. Huamin thought about it and decided to go. After all, if he didn't go, they might go to South Side to look for him. If that happened, it would affect her work. When Huamin entered a luxurious coffee shop downtown, he saw Shinjiani and Hui Yanyan. Shinjiani was wearing a moon-white cheongsam. She still looked charming, her skin was well maintained. Hui Yanyan was wearing a fiery red organza princess gown. Her wavy hair made her look charming and flirtatious. Why are you looking for me? Huamin walked over and asked straightforwardly. Mian, sit down. Waiter, give her a glass of orange juice. Shinjiani made the decision. It's okay, I'll just drink water. Okay, waiter, give her a glass of water. Shinjiani then looked at Huamin with a smile. You seem to be getting prettier and prettier. She actually praised Huamin for the first time. It seemed like the weasel was paying a New Year's visit to the chicken. He didn't have good intentions. Huamin looked at the mother and daughter and asked, if you have something to say, just say it. I don't like to beat around the bush. Hui Yanyan glared at Huamin. You're lucky to have my mom looking for you. Stop nagging and listen to whatever we say. In fact, she didn't agree to look for Huamin. However, the situation had become more and more tense recently. Shinjiani had no other choice. He planned to find a breakthrough through Huamin. Mian, if I did something wrong in the past, please don't take it to heart. Yan Yan is younger than you, so she's your little sister. Don't lower yourself to her level. Sometimes, she's just too straightforward. Forgive her. Being straightforward and being mean are two different things. I don't think I need to forgive her. After all, we're not friends. I don't need you to forgive me. Who do you think you are? I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. Hui Yanyan was furious. Just as she was about to explode, Shinjiani stopped her. Yen Yen, sit down. What did I tell you before we came? Didn't I tell you to get along well with your sister? Shinjiani pretended to scold Hui Yen Yen. Hui Yen Yen angrily turned her head to the side. Then, Shinjiani smiled at Huamin and said, Wasiqian, the truth is, I'm looking for you because I have no other choice. I hope you can help. Wasiqian has been making too many moves recently, and C has been forced to go to the Philippines. The conditions there are tough, and he hasn't been through much hardship, so he can't take it. Your dad has the board of directors holding him back, so he doesn't dare to transfer him back. After all, there are a lot of interests involved. Plus, Wasiqian has arranged for a lot of his own people to come here. So, what can I do? Huamin took a sip of water and asked. Chapter 457. I hope that you can come back to the Hua Corporation and become a member of the board of directors. Then, as one of the heirs of the Hua family, your words will carry a lot of weight. If you have any requests, your father will do as you say. I don't want anything else, I just want you to help us transfer C back. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I won't let you help us for free. I'll give you 1,000,000 yuan after you succeed. Shinjiani was willing to pay. Before Huamin could say anything, Shinjiani took out a square brocade box from her bag and handed it to him. What is this? Huamin was confused. It's an Omega watch, the latest model for women. 188,000 yuan. As a show of sincerity, please accept this watch. Shinjiani pushed the brocade box in front of Huamin. Huamin sneered on the inside. It seemed like the mother and daughter of the Hua family had given him a lot of money and a watch this time. It seemed like Wasiqian had been playing too hard lately, and forced them into a corner. I'm sorry, I really can't help you. You should remember that I already announced in the newspaper that I will never go back to the Hua family. That's okay, your father won't mind those reports. After all, you two are related by blood. Shinjiani was still holding on to the last shred of hope that she could convince Huamin. Huamin really wanted to be honest with her and tell her that she wasn't Hua Xinghai's daughter, but now was not the time. After all, there were too many implications. It's not about whether he minds or not, it's about me. I don't want to go back to the Hua family, so I can't help you. I'm sorry. After speaking, Huamin stood up and left without even looking at the watch. Shinjiani's expression changed slightly. She didn't think that Huamin would reject her so straightforwardly without even thinking about it. Hui Yen Yen was anxious. She stood up and yelled, "You don't know what's good for you. Don't blame me for not having a good life in the future. Don't provoke me. Otherwise, you won't have a good life either." Huamin glanced coldly at Hui Yen Yen. Huamin really hated Hui Yen Yen, just like how he hated He-Man. If she really did something overboard, he would definitely not let her off. Mom. I told you not to come. This little bitch doesn't know how to appreciate favors. I heard that she has an affair with Suyu. Now that she has climbed up the social ladder, why would she be interested in small fries like us? Even if you fail, you still have to try. What if you agree? It's not an extra way to live. You're just not mentally stable. There's nothing urgent. C is the same as you. None of you are like me. Shinjiani sighed. She had been smart all her life, but in the end, she had given birth to two idiots. When she was young, she had to fight with many mistresses and Hua Xinghai's wife, Jiang Hong. Now that she was old, she was still restless. She even had to fight with Wasiqian for her children, therefore, the road to becoming a rich family was not easy. Most of the time, people only saw the glamour on the outside. They didn't know how cruel the internal strife was. Come with me, Mom, where else are we going? The ghetto. The ghetto. Why would we go there? It's so dirty and smelly, Hui Yanyan complained pretentiously. Let's go find Huamin's mother and see if we can persuade her. Xinjiani sat in Hui Yanyan's Porsche 911. As soon as the luxury car stopped in front of the courtyard, it attracted everyone's attention. Yang Meirong was sitting in the courtyard, washing the sheets. When she saw Xinjiani, her expression changed drastically. Sis, how have you been? Xinjiani smiled. What are you doing here? Yang Meirong glared at Xinjiani and asked angrily. Chapter 458. I'm here to see you. You're here to see me. What a joke, you're just here to see how miserable my life is. Thanks to you, I'm not miserable at all. I'm living a carefree life, and I don't have to worry about my children being bullied by others and ending up with nothing. My daughter is working and supporting herself, and my son is in college. The three of us are living a happy life. So, Superstar Shin, get out of here, there's no place for you here. Hey, you old woman, how can you talk to my mom like that? Yang Meirong glanced at Hui Yanyan. You really are Hu Jinghai's daughter. Not only do you look like him, but you also have the same temper. You're so stubborn, you might not be able to get married in the future. Who are you calling unmarriageable, you damned old woman? Yan, don't be rude. Xinjiani immediately stopped Hui Yanyan from going crazy. Sis, I'm not here to fight, I want to make a deal with you. A deal? Yang Meirong looked at the mother and daughter curiously. Yes, a deal, what kind of deal? Help us convince Huamin to come back to the Hua Corporation and help us, and I promise to give you a 100 square meter house in the 3rd Ring Road. Look at this place, it's not nice, it's far from the city, it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter, it's not a place for people to live. Also, your son is 18 or 19 years old, right? He's going to get married in the future, and you can't just give this old house to someone's future daughter-in-law, right? She definitely won't like it. Ha, you're really generous, a 100 square meter house in the 3rd Ring Road. Yang Meirong smiled. That's right, with the current housing price of 20,000 yuan per square meter, a 100 square meter house is worth 2 million yuan. What do you think? I didn't mistreat you, did I? Plus, once Huamin enters the Hua Corporation, she'll be rewarded even more. Isn't it your biggest dream to bring Huamin back and have Zhenghai acknowledge her as his daughter? That was in the past. I've long since given up on that idea. Not to mention that Huamin doesn't want to admit it, even if Hu Zhenghai comes to beg me personally, I won't agree to your request. You never make deals where you lose out, so why would you be so kind as to give me a house? It must be Jiang Hong who forced you and your mother into a dead end. You. Xinjiani didn't expect Yang Meirong to see through everything. Don't take me for an idiot. I may be old, but I can still see the situation clearly. That old bastard Hu Zhenghai tried to trick my daughter and me. Luckily, my daughter saw through it, or else you guys would have plotted against her. Your whole family is heartless and unscrupulous. You don't have the slightest bit of kinship. I don't care about your stinky money. Scram, don't dirty my place. If a tiger doesn't show its might, do you really think I'm a sick cat? Do you think I'm a widow and an orphan? Bitch. Then, Yang Meirong splashed a bucket of dirty water at her. Xinjiani and Hui Yanyan were completely drenched. Hey, you crazy woman, what are you doing? Get out of here, don't say that I'm calling the police to warn you for trespassing. I'm going to beat you to death. Hui Yanyan said as she tried to rush up. Let's go, Yan, let's not waste time with her. Xinjiani hadn't lost her mind yet. After being splashed with water, she didn't want to waste any more time and dragged her daughter away. Shinjiani thought she was smart, but both of her plans failed. She cried and called Hua Zhenghai. Hua Zhenghai felt bad for his mistress, so after comforting her for a long time, he decided to do it himself. Imperial Star Entertainment Headquarters, President Su, the chairman of the Hua Corporation wants to see you. Hua Zhenghai. Su Yu was lying on his office chair, listening to music. He was bored out of his mind, so he was quite surprised to hear that Hua Zhenghai was looking for him. He didn't remember having any business dealings with this person. Let him in. Su Yu waved his hand and took off his headphones. Chapter 459. Nice to meet you, nephew Su, Hua Zhenghai greeted politely as soon as he entered the room. Su Yu didn't even get up from his chair. Instead, he continued to lie down in a carefree manner. It was obvious that he didn't care about Hua Zhenghai at all. Oh, President Hua, have a seat. After Hua Zhenghai sat down, Su Yu's secretary brought in 2 cups of tea. Hua Zhenghai took a sip and praised, "Wow, this is good tea. This must be Longjing tea after the Qingming festival rain. It's sweet and refreshing, it's hard to come by." "Oh, I don't know what this is either. Someone gave it to my dad. He couldn't finish it, so he gave it to me. It's especially for old men like you." Su Yu didn't think twice about calling Hua Zhenghai old man. However, Hua Zhenghai wasn't angry. Humans were all snobbish. If Su Yu wasn't a member of the Su family, Hua Zhenghai probably would have gotten mad at him for calling him that. "Ha ha ha, you're such a straightforward person. I like it." Su Yu narrowed his eyes and said in a daze, "I remember that I don't have any business dealings with President Hua's company anymore, right? May I know why you're here? Since you asked, I won't hide it from you. I heard that you're interested in my daughter, Hua Min. Is that true?" Hua Zhenghai put down his teacup and looked at Su Yu's face. "My daughter. Is Hua Min related to you?" Su Yu asked even though he already knew the answer. "You probably don't know, haha, I'm too embarrassed to mention it. It's a romantic debt from more than 20 years ago. Hua Min is my daughter who led a wandering life." "Led a wandering life? No way, why did I hear that you don't recognize her as your daughter?" "I only know that Hui Yanyan is your only daughter." "Ah. Hua Mion's mother didn't want to forgive me. I was young back then and hurt her. Now that I'm older, I value family ties more and more, so..." Hua Zhenghai continued to play the gentle card, trying to play the role of a good father to Hua Min in front of Su Yu. Su Yu truly felt disgusted. No wonder Hua Min had announced in the newspaper that he was cutting ties with the old man. If it had been him, he would have slapped the old man away. "Ah. I see. So, you came here to ask me this?" "Yes, after all, rumors are just rumors. I don't dare to believe them completely, so I came to ask you." "It's true. I like Hua Min, but she doesn't like me and refuses to talk to me." "Ah. Really?" Hua Zhenghai seemed to be pleasantly surprised. "Yeah, I've tried everything, but she still won't look at me. There's nothing I can do. I should give up first." Su Yu said deliberately. "This. I think I can help you, nephew." "You can help me? How?" Su Yu finally stood up lazily from his chair and looked at Hua Zhenghai. "I can help you convince Hua Mian. Although she's a bit stubborn, she's very soft-hearted. If I take her back to the Hua family and give her a proper status, I believe that if she gets engaged to you in the future, your Su family will be proud." "Engaged? You're thinking too far ahead." Su Yu sneered. "It's not impossible. Once our 2 families get married, our businesses will advance by leaps and bounds. Ha, I think your father would like to see our two families join forces. My family doesn't really mind. My grandfather said that in the future, as long as my wife is a girl with a clean background, it's fine. Yes, old Master Su is right. But, President Hua, I don't think you can help me. Nephew, why do you say that? Hua Zhenghai looked at Su Yu, as if he had something else to say. Because Hua Min is already married, what? Hua Zhenghai was dumbfounded. Ha, you look like you don't know. Su Yu looked at Hua Zhenghai's dumbfounded face with amusement and felt very happy. Who is she married to? Hua Zhenghai felt that the news was too fast for him to digest. Chapter 460. TSK, aren't you Mion's biological father? How could you not know about such a big thing? I really don't know. My dear nephew, is there a mistake? A mistake? No, Su Yu's information has never been wrong. The Civil Affairs Bureau can verify it. You can see for yourself. Then, when did she get married? Who did she marry? Hua Zhenghai felt like his heart was beating at a weird rate. Hua Xiqian never mentioned this to him. Could it be that Hua Xiqian didn't know? You probably know that person as well. He's the new president of GK, Qin Chu. They've been married for about 4 months now. Thinking about how Hua Min was already married when he met him, Su Yu's heart felt stifled. He felt like he came too late. Qin Chu. GK. This time, Hua Zhenghai was even more nervous. After chatting with Su Yu for a while, he found an excuse to leave. Then, he went straight to the Hua Corporation. At the headquarters of the Hua Corporation, Hua Xiqian was signing documents. Then, he saw Hua Zhenghai walk in angrily. Dad, why are you here? Hua Min is married, why didn't you tell me? What? Married? Dad, you must be joking. Little sister Mian is still a little girl, how could she be married? Hua Xiqian smiled. Su Yu said it himself. Also, I sent someone to check with the Civil Affairs Bureau. They are indeed married. Ha! Really? Who is she married to? Hua Xiqian pretended to be surprised. You don't know. Dad, how would I know? You know that little sister Mian doesn't like me. She won't even say a word to me, let alone something as big as this. That damned girl sure is tight-lipped. Hua Zhenghai believed Hua Xiqian when he heard that he didn't know. Who's her husband? Why haven't I heard anything about it? I'll tell you about it slowly. Hua Zhenghai didn't directly tell Hua Xiqian about Qin Chu's relationship. He was afraid that once Hua Xiqian found out that Hua Min had such a powerful backing, he would use it to his advantage. He wanted to win Hua Min over to Xinjiani's side. As Hua Xiqian watched Hua Zhenghai leave the office, his eyes gradually turned cold. Old fox, you're still playing tricks on me even now. Ha! Southside Sanatorium. Hua Min took the boy from room 7 for a walk in the back garden. The boy's condition had stabilized a lot. However, as the number of orthopedics patients increased, he had to transfer back to the psychiatry department. After all, he could not cross departments. Sister, you're really good at this game. If there's a chance in the future, please teach me how to move. Okay, but you'll be transferred tomorrow. Don't worry though, I'll visit you upstairs. You have to cooperate with the treatment and try to get out of here as soon as possible. I don't want to go to school, sister. I want to live here forever. The boy's eyes dimmed. Silly child, what nonsense are you talking about? This is a sanatorium, not a home. But this place is better than my home. I only have a nanny and my parents are nowhere to be seen. This place is better. The nurses treat me better than my parents, especially you. You can even play games with me. I like it here. Upon hearing the boy's words, Huamin's heart ached for him. Get better first, good boy. After taking Huang Zhiming for a walk, Huamin packed up his things and got off work. Because there were a lot of newcomers recently, the night shift ended at 10:30 p.m. Qin Chu went to a ribbon-cutting ceremony in a neighboring city, so he wasn't home. Huamin wasn't in a hurry either, so he dawdled until 11 p.m. After getting on the viaduct, Huamin vaguely felt that something wasn't right. There was a black Honda business car behind her, and it seemed to be following her. She wasn't very sure, so she purposely turned off the viaduct and walked in another direction. As expected, the Honda business car followed her. It was too strange. The distance was neither close nor far, so she couldn't see how many people were in the car. However, Huamin was sure that she was being followed. She sped up, put on her earphones, and dialed Gao Ran's number. Hello. Gao Ran, I'm on the viaduct in the south of the city. Coordinates 54. 271, 3. I'm being followed by a black Honda business car. Send someone to check it out immediately. After hanging up, Huamin stepped on the gas pedal and got onto the ring highway again. Chase after her, don't let that woman get away. In the car behind her, a big man with a dark face ordered angrily. Chapter 461. The cars behind them were getting closer and closer. Huamin stepped on the gas pedal and continued to speed up. She only wanted to stall for time on the ring highway and waste time with them. Once Gao Ran's men arrived, everything would be safe. Municipal Criminal Police Unit, quick, check the coordinates for me. Gao Ran was very anxious when he received Huamin's call. Qin Chu was not at home. If something happened to Huamin, how was he going to explain it to his buddy? Moreover, Huamin had personally called for help. Captain Gao, I've found it. It's the South Ring Highway. First team, follow me. We'll go and rescue her immediately. Second team, you guys flank them from the other side to cut off the escape route of those criminals. Third team, you stay here and wait for orders. If the situation becomes critical, immediately provide support. Yes, Captain Gao. Let's go. Then, Gao Ran led the first team and quickly drove toward the South Ring Highway. The police cars cleared the way, and it was very smooth. Big brother, why do I feel like this woman is playing with us? Look, she doesn't even want to go anywhere. She's been leading us in circles on the highway for almost 3 rounds. Oh no, she's obviously playing with us. She's also stalling for time. She probably found out that we've called the police. Quick, we have to find a way to force her off the highway and onto a remote road. Otherwise, we won't have a chance to do anything. Big brother, I know. There's a small fork in the road 7 kilometers ahead. It's a small road that the villagers walked on. Even the GPS doesn't show the location. It should be safe there. Great, that's it. Drive faster and force her into the small road. Huamin originally thought that as long as they safely made a few rounds on the highway, everything would be fine when Gao Ran arrived. However, she thought too simply of the situation and made these kidnappers look too stupid. Just as the car drove for about 7 kilometers, a large blue truck suddenly appeared in front of them and blocked Huamin's path. The truck seemed to have broken down and was under repair. Seeing that Huamin was about to hit her, she could either choose to stop or be caught by the people behind her. Otherwise, he could choose to reverse and drive back, which was also very risky. It was very likely that he would collide with the car behind him or get caught. Just as Huamin was in a dilemma, she suddenly found a fork in the dirt road. She could drive straight down. Although the road conditions were not good, she still wanted to give it a try. Just as he was about to hit the truck, Min made a left turn and plunged into the dirt road beside him. Although she didn't know where this road led to, she could only choose to keep driving forward. Big brother, that woman was fooled. Ha ha ha, we really forced her into that small path. That's great. Tell Kai and the others to set up obstacles in front to stop her. We'll follow and block all her paths. Yes, big brother. After Min got off the dirt road, she didn't relax, because she saw from the rearview mirror that the black Honda business car behind her had followed her. It seemed like these people were relentless in their pursuit. Just as Min was about to speed up again, she suddenly saw a white van in front of her. Furthermore, the van was less than 500 meters away from him. The dirt road was very narrow. It was just before the autumn harvest, so there were yellow corn stalks on both sides. There was no way to go. She could only go forward or backward. However, Min knew that there were cars in front and behind her. It seemed like Gao Ran wouldn't be able to come to her rescue. Min took a deep breath, stepped on the gas pedal, and the car rushed forward. Big brother, that woman doesn't want to live anymore. She wants to hit our car. The driver in the white van was so scared that his face turned pale. Chapter 462. The moment Min dashed over, the people in the white van jumped out of their cars in fear. They ran to the side in a hurry, and Min's car crashed into the white van, destroying it beyond recognition. The good thing was that the white van was an inferior brand, so its quality was mediocre. On the other hand, although Min CC was a domestic product, it was a joint venture with a German company, so its technology and quality were excellent. Boss, that woman is running away. The minions in the Honda behind yelled. It's okay, she can't run away. The leader of the Honda smiled coldly. It seemed like he already had other plans. Min drove past the white van and approached the entrance of a village. She thought that as long as she yelled when she reached a place with people, the villagers would at least take care of her, right? Just as she was about to reach the village, a little girl suddenly ran out of the road. She was about 5 or 6 years old, and she was wearing a red dress. She looked very cute, and her hair was tied into 2 pigtails. She was holding a lollipop in her hand. The little girl's sudden appearance scared Min out of her wits. Luckily, she was calm enough to step on the brakes, and the car was less than 3 centimeters away from the little girl. She was so close to bumping into her. Hey, Shania, what are you doing here? It's so dangerous, come back with me. A plainly dressed rural woman immediately ran out, picked up the little girl, and hid on the side of the road. Seeing Min stop the car, the people in the Honda were overjoyed. Boss, your idea is great. Ha, you got her for 100 yuan, and that woman is willing to risk her child's life. Ha. Stop talking nonsense, get out of the car and get her. Then, the people in the Honda and the van all jumped out. There were 9 of them. Each of them had a metal rod in their hand, and they didn't come with good intentions. Miss Hua, please get out of the car. The leader was more polite as he walked over and opened the door of the CC. Min didn't say anything as she walked out of the car. They even knew her name, so it seemed like their plan was very detailed. Guys, did I offend you in any way? Min smiled. No, but you offended our friend. Oh, I don't know who it is. I'll explain it to her. There's no need to explain. My friend's temper isn't very good. He said that we should teach you a lesson. Everyone, we're all here for money. If you let me go, I'll pay you double how much your friend paid. How about that? Double? Yes, double. Min nodded. Ha, I'm afraid you can't afford it. My friend offered 3 million. Can you afford it? 3 million, looks like it's really a big deal. Min lowered his head and quickly thought about which of his enemies would be able to fork out such a large sum of money. In an instant, Hui Yanyan, Shen Jiani, and even Zhou Guangming flashed through his mind. However, none of them seemed to fit. He-Man didn't have that much money, so she didn't say much. Hui Yanyan and the others still needed her help. Plus, if she did something like this, it wouldn't do them any good. Besides, Hui Yanyan didn't seem like someone who would be so generous. It wasn't like her to do things. It wasn't likely that Zhou Guangming would do it either. Qin Chu had already cleaned up the Zhou family, leaving no survivors. So the person who wanted to hurt her this time was, just by looking at the car you drive, I know you can't afford 6 million. Stop talking nonsense. Don't, brother. Let's talk nicely. Although my car isn't very good, my boyfriend is rich. He can give me the money. Really, as long as you let me go, I promise you I'll give you the 6 million. Brother, do we believe her? She doesn't look rich. Her car is only 200,000, and she doesn't wear branded clothes. Don't be fooled by her, a man said. Chapter 463. It's not that I don't trust you, but I can't go back on my word. Once we accept a job, we'll be considered a traitor if we betray our employer. Miss Hua, I'm sorry, but I'll take her away. Wait a minute. Mister, we have no grudge against each other. You're only after money. If 6 million isn't enough, I can add more, as long as you're willing to let me live. I'm still young, and I don't want to die. Min pretended to make peace with them and tried to lower their guard. Don't worry, she's not after your life. She just wants us to take a video of you. Min's expression changed as soon as she heard the video. Then, she heard one of the thugs laugh lecherously. Mister, this chick is not bad. We'll take her back and have some fun with her. When you're done, we'll have some fun with her. I guarantee that the video will be amazing. Don't worry, we'll let you go after we're done. We're not after your life. As long as you're obedient, we won't let you get hurt, the leader of the thugs said arrogantly as he looked at Min. At this moment, she was all alone and trapped on a rural road where she couldn't even find the GPS. She couldn't count on Gao Ran, so she had to think of a way to save herself. There's a saying that goes, don't go too far. Mister, if you let me live, I'll make things easier for you. If you force me into a dead end, who knows what crazy things I'll do, Min sneered. Ha ha ha. You make it sound like I'm afraid of you. Don't worry, you can be a little crazy in bed later. I like girls with character. Otherwise, you'll be like a dead fish. It's not fun to play with you. Then, the group of men burst into laughter. However, Min didn't show any fear. She knew that fear was useless in the face of danger. She could only save herself if she calmed down. Therefore, she smiled faintly. All right, since I've fallen into your hands today, I guess I'm unlucky. I don't want to struggle anymore. However, my leg was injured in the accident just now. Can you come over and give me a hug? Yu Zai, carry her to the car, the man said. Yes, big brother. No, I won't let him hug me. I'll let you hug me, Min said in a coquettish tone as he pointed at the leader. Me? The man was obviously surprised. Yeah, I don't like these henchmen. I know you're their big brother, so you can carry them. After Min finished speaking, she pouted her lips and looked adorable. Io, big brother, it seems like you have good luck with women. As expected of our big brother, even women like you. His lackeys were sucking up to him. The leader picked his ear and smiled. All right, I'm in a good mood today. I've earned 3 million from you, so I don't mind hugging you for a while. When we get on the bed, you'll have to serve me well. As he spoke, he walked towards Min. Min smiled sweetly, which made those men even more careless. The other men all turned around and prepared to get into the car. just as the leader of the group was about to touch Huamian, he suddenly screamed in pain. The other men immediately turned around and were stunned. Huamian had a silver needle in her hand, and it was pressed against the man's neck. "Girl, what are you doing? If you don't want to die, open the way for me and let me go. Otherwise, this day next year will be the anniversary of your death," Huamian said slowly. Every word was deadly, and the atmosphere became extremely tense. Chapter 464. Then, Huamian applied more force and pierced the man's neck with the silver needle. The man immediately felt his entire body go numb. What's wrong? Does it feel like your entire body is stiff and your tongue is numb? Huamian asked softly. The man nodded vigorously. "Oh, I forgot to tell you that I work in a hospital and come into contact with a lot of drugs every day. As a woman, I have to learn how to protect myself. That's why I carry a deadly poison with me. The silver needle is coated with the latest poison developed by our hospital. It can kill a person within an hour. In other words, if you don't get the antidote within the next hour, you will die. You bitch, let go of my brother." The thugs were so scared that their faces turned pale. "Your brother is poisoned and can't speak. If you want him to die quickly, then confront me." The thugs didn't know what to do. "If you want him to be fine, then send someone to drive me away. Otherwise, I'll kill him and bury him with me." After speaking, Huamian moved the silver needle and blood began to seep out of the man's neck. "Yuzai, what should we do? Look at our brother's face. It's obvious that he's been poisoned. Let's let this woman go, we can't risk our brother's life." "Okay, don't move. We'll drive you away." In the end, the thugs gave in. Huamian smirked. Ever since she was almost trapped by Zhou Guangming its seductive fox, Huamian felt that it wasn't safe for her to be alone. Just in case, she always wore a silver needle on her cuff and a button-like decoration on her clothes, which was very inconspicuous. However, the button contained a purple poison that she developed herself. It wasn't fatal, but it could paralyze a person's entire body for a short period of time. It looked scary when one's skin turned purple, but it wasn't that bad. Huamian pointed at the thug named Yuzai. "You, drive. The rest of you, don't follow." A few minutes later, Yuzai drove Huamian's Volkswagen CC back onto the highway. The man in the lead was sitting in the back seat with his entire body purple. He couldn't say a word and looked like an idiot. "Will my brother be all right? Can you give us the antidote first?" "I'll give it to you when we get there," Huamian said slowly with his eyes closed. To be honest, this fish boy was quite impressed by this woman. She was able to remain calm in the face of danger. There were 9 men, but they were still unable to capture a living person. He was even made a fool of. 20 minutes later, in a bustling area in the city center. "Stop right in front," Huamian ordered. "Antidote?" "I can give you the antidote, but you have to answer a question," Huamian asked. "Speak. Who instigated this?" "I can't tell you. That's the rule." Yuzai was quite stubborn. "Oh, if that's the case, I'm sorry, but the antidote is gone. You can get out of the car." "Bitch, are you toying with us?" The fish boys were about to explode. "Don't be impulsive, young man. This is the city center. It's less than 500 meters away from the city bureau. As long as I yell, the 2 of you will be arrested immediately. I believe that you have a lot of criminal records before, right?" After Huamian finished speaking, Yuzai fell silent. This woman was too smart. Her analysis of their situation was completely accurate, so your brother doesn't have much time left. If he doesn't take the antidote, he might. Our employer, she. Yuzai finally relented. "Who is it?" Hua Min's eyes darkened as he asked coldly. Chapter 465. Her surname is Zhao and she's a rich woman. That's all I can say. Yu Zai gritted his teeth as if he had made up his mind. Oh, so it's her. Hua Min suddenly realized. Antidote. Yu Zai reached out his hand. Then, he saw Hua Min take out a small glass bottle and feed his big brother some water. He's already taken the antidote. Take him to a hot bath and he'll recover immediately. Why should I believe you? Yu Zai was furious. Because you don't have a choice. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. Good luck. Then, Hua Min pushed the big brother out of the car. Yu Zai immediately got out of the car to help him up. Hua Min got into the driver's seat and sped off. When Hua Min got home, she took a hot bath first. She was still in shock just now. But in that situation, she couldn't panic. Otherwise, she would be done for if her opponent saw through her. That drug was at most anesthetic, not poison. The reason why it changed color was because she had added pigment. Then, what she gave the big brother wasn't the antidote either. It was just mineral water. But she had to do it. It was to make them believe that his big brother was really poisoned. After taking a bath, Hua Min took out a pen and paper and began to draw a portrait. 20 minutes later, she finished drawing the big brother's portrait. She took out her phone and realized that it had run out of battery and turned off automatically. She charged her phone and turned it on. Then, she received a call from Gao Ran. Hua Min, are you okay? I'm fine. Where are you now? At home. We searched according to your coordinates, but we didn't find any clues. What's going on? Who wants to harm you? Gao Ran was relieved to hear that Hua Min was fine. Otherwise, he would have been worried. Gao Ran, I drew his portrait, and I'll send it to you on WeChat later. This guy is the leader, and his henchman is called Yu Zai. I won't draw him because of time. They arranged for 2 cars to attack me. One was a black Honda with a license plate of CX1470, and the other was a white van with a license plate of ER5464. Go and check it out. It's best if you arrest them directly. They should be a group that specializes in kidnapping, and they should have a criminal record. Okay, I'll check right away. By the way, don't tell Qin Chu about this. Why? Gao Ran was puzzled. Such a big thing happened and he didn't tell Qin Chu. Did he think he was ass? I don't want him to worry. Anyway, I'm fine, so don't tell him. Okay, but I want to know how powerful you are. You can still remember their license plate and draw their portrait. You're amazing. No wonder you have a high IQ. Cut the crap. Go and arrest them. Hua Min smiled and hung up. Gao Ran's efficiency was not to be underestimated. He caught the criminal gang that night. Just as Hua Min said, they had a criminal record. They were involved in many kidnapping and rape cases within a year. In one fell swoop, they destroyed their lair, a garbage recycling station in the western suburbs, and arrested 9 suspects in the same case. Of course, this was all thanks to Hua Min's portrait. It was so lifelike that it looked like a real person. Gao Ran sent Hua Min a WeChat message and joked, "Don't work in the hospital. Come to our city bureau and draw portraits of criminal suspects." Hua Min asked arrogantly, "Can your city bureau give me a monthly salary of more than 20,000 yuan?" Gao Ran was speechless. The monthly salary of a civil servant was pitifully low. Other than a stable job, there were no other benefits. When Gao Ran finished the case that night, it was already past 1:00 in the morning. He excitedly called Zhu Lingling. "What's wrong with you? Why aren't you sleeping? Huamin was almost kidnapped today. Do you know that? What? Kidnapping? Zhu Lingling immediately jumped out of her bed. She was completely energized. Chapter 466. Then, Gao Ran told Zhu Lingling everything that had happened. She was so scared that her heart was pounding. Luckily, Huamin was fine in the end. Oh my god, can you just tell me the result next time? You scared me to death. Zhu Lingling let out a sigh of relief as she picked up a glass of water and gulped it down. How can Huamin be so smart? He was able to fight 9 people by himself, and they were all weak girls. That's why I say he has a high IQ. He even made his own poison. I'm speechless, it's not poison. I asked someone to identify it. It's super anesthetic. Huamin mixed it with pigment. Ha, she's almost a spirit. No wonder Qin Chu likes her so much. What? You like her too? Zhu Lingling joked on purpose. Come on, I'm not good enough for a woman like her. Qin Chu is better than her. I think so too. How lucky must you be to be able to become the captain of the criminal police force with your pig brain? Hey, what are you talking about? I always talk like this, you have to get used to it. Zhu Lingling said meaningfully. Are you flying tomorrow? No, I'm on vacation. Oh, I heard that. World of Warcraft is in theaters. Do you want to watch it? Gao Ran remembered that when they were in school, both he and Zhu Lingling liked to play World of Warcraft. At first, Qin Chu and Huamin played it as well. But later on, those 2 super freaks were too strong. After they finished playing all the skills, their accounts were banned and they switched to a new game. Only the 2 of them were still playing it. I don't want to watch it. I've played it before, but it doesn't mean that I have to watch the movie. I plan to watch Finding Nemo 2 in a few days. I like Xiao Yu very much, Zhu Lingling said casually. Yeah, our company is very stingy when it comes to benefits. They didn't even give me money. Instead, they gave me a lot of Wanda cinema cards. It would be a waste if I didn't watch it. You can give it to me. I can bring my parents, my cousin, and my nephew. Gao Ran was speechless. There are only 2 movie cards left. Gao Ran was angry and said deliberately. Then only Huamin and I can go and take a look, Zhu Lingling said with some melancholy. Gao Ran was speechless. But Huamin, she won't go with Qin Chu. Are you so willing to be a third wheel? Gao Ran looked as if he expected better from him. Then who should I go with? You. What's wrong with me? Gao Ran felt wronged. The main question is, wouldn't it be awkward for a man like you to watch Finding Nemo? It's okay, I can pretend to be your dad. A dad with his daughter should be fine, right? Fuck off, Zhu Lingling immediately cursed when she heard that she had been tricked. Gao Ran laughed maniacally on the other end of the phone. Venomous tongue Ling, it's settled then. Ha, call me when Finding Nemo is released. Ha, good night. Hey. Before Zhu Lingling could finish her sentence, Gao Ran hung up the phone. She wanted to send a WeChat message to Huamin to ask him how he was doing, but it was already very late. Zhu Lingling decided to go back to sleep. Huamin fell into a deep sleep in bed. Before she went to sleep, she received a message from Gao Ran saying that he had caught all the culprits. They also confessed to the culprit, but the culprit didn't leave behind any evidence. Their testimony alone wasn't enough. Gao Ran couldn't arrest the culprit, not to mention that the culprit had a special identity. Huamin only calmly said that he would take care of it. Around 2 a.m., Qin Chu opened the door and went home. After he showered and went to bed, Huamin was already sleeping like a pig. He lovingly kissed her cheek and then hugged her to sleep. Morning, honey, when did you come home? It's too late, so I didn't wake you up. I'm not eating breakfast, I have to go to work. I'm late. Seeing that there wasn't enough time, Hwamin packed up and was about to leave. Mian, I'll drive you. It's okay, I can drive myself, your car. I already asked someone to send it to the 4S shop for repairs, I think it's badly damaged. When Chin-Chu drove into the garage yesterday, he saw Hwamin's car covered in scratches. Did something happen yesterday? Chin-Chu sipped on his tea and asked nonchalantly. Chapter 467. Oh. I accidentally crashed into someone. I'm fine, it's just that the car is a little damaged, so I didn't tell you. As Hwamin spoke, she carefully glanced at Chin-Chu, afraid that he would see through her. I'm glad you're fine. Be careful in the future. Okay. Hwamin nodded and let out a sigh of relief. Don't look at this car, it's too unsafe. I'll order another one for you. But, no buts, just accept it. Chin-Chu overbearingly stopped her from saying no. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chin. Hwamin wrapped her arms around his neck and acted cute. Because they woke up late, neither of them had breakfast. Chin-Chu drove Hwamin to work in his Maybach. When Hwamin arrived at the recuperation center, breakfast was already prepared in the office. Head nurse, you're here. Someone just delivered this. Hwamin saw the soy milk and the brand of the headline. She immediately knew that it was Chin-Chu, because he was the only one who knew what she liked to eat and which restaurant she liked to eat at. He knew her like the back of his hand. During lunch break, Hwamin suddenly received a call from Jishin. Sis, come home quickly. Something happened. Hwamin thought that something happened to his mother, so he immediately drove home. From afar, he saw the word demolition spray-painted on the wall of his house. Jishin, what's going on? When Hwamin walked in, Jishin and his mother were sitting under a tree in the yard. Young Maerong was crying non-stop, and Jishin was comforting her. Sis, our house is going to be demolished. Demolition? Hwamin was stunned. Our house is only about 100 square meters, including the yard, so they can only give us 200,000 yuan. However, with the current housing prices in our city, 200,000 yuan is probably not even enough for the down payment to buy a house elsewhere. Mom doesn't want to move, and she and Auntie Wu insist on staying. In the end, a group of hooligans just came and forcefully sprayed paint in front of our house. They even said that if we don't move out, they will directly use a forklift to demolish the house. When that time comes, whether we live or die will be up to fate. Ridiculous. Who gave them the right to do that? Hwamin was filled with grief and indignation. She really didn't expect that the things she often saw on the news would happen to her one day. Mom, don't be afraid, I won't let them do anything. Those people are hooligans, we can't afford to offend them. I'm old, so I'm fine, but you and your brother. I have to consider your safety. How about I tell Auntie Wu and the others to move out for 1,500 yuan? Mom, no, this isn't about money, it's about human rights. We can't take this lying down. Don't worry, leave it to me. After speaking, Hwamin stood up. She wanted to call Chin-Chu and ask him, but Jishin walked over and whispered, Sis, do you know which company is trying to demolish us? Don't tell me it's GK. Hwamin asked in fear. How is that possible? What are you thinking? Why would brother Chin-Chu do that? Jishin smiled. Then which company is it? Hwamin looked at Jishin in confusion. It's the whole corporation, Jishin whispered. The whole corporation. Hwamin was surprised as well. Sis, keep your voice down, don't let mom hear you. If she finds out, she'll go after the Hua family again. A few days ago, Hui Yanyan and her mother came, but mom kicked them out. Do you think it's revenge? So, Hui Yanyan doesn't have that much power, humph. After speaking, Hua Min turned around and left. Sis, where are you going? I'm going to deal with him. After speaking, Hua Min got into her car and sped to the Hua Corporation's headquarters. Hua Xiqian, come out, you bastard. Hua Min couldn't help but curse because she was too angry. She knew that Hua Xiqian was the boss of the Hua Corporation, and Hua Xiqian knew about the demolition of her home. Chapter 468. President Hua, I'm sorry, this young lady was too agitated and I couldn't stop her. The secretary apologized profusely. It's fine, you can leave now. Hua Xiqian waved his hand and sent the secretary away. Hua Xiqian. Little sister Mian, what brings you here? Come and sit down. Don't talk nonsense with me. Were you the one who forced the demolition? Little sister Mian, calm down. Come, I'll tell you everything. Sit down first, okay? Hua Xiqian was unusually patient with Hua Min. Hua Min looked at him coldly and sat down unwillingly. Do you want coffee or tea? I'm not here to drink, not everyone can come and drink here. Hua Xiqian smiled. Don't beat around the bush with me, are you purposely picking on my family? Hua Xiqian didn't say anything. He turned around and made Hua Min a cup of coffee. He stirred the coffee with a small spoon. Girls should add sugar and milk to their coffee, it tastes better. Come, have a taste of my coffee. Then, Hua Xiqian handed the coffee over to Hua Min. Hua. Shoo, don't talk, let me take a look. Ouch, have you been working too many night shifts lately? You have dark circles under your eyes. Hua Min subconsciously touched her eye bags. You're only 24 years old, don't work so hard like an old professor. It's no use hoping that the hospital will give you a good person card. Your health is your capital. When you leave later, I'll ask my secretary to bring you some new eye masks from the company. Hua Xiqian, don't change the subject, okay? I'm asking about the forced demolition. Hua Min couldn't take it anymore. She was usually very calm, but for some reason, whenever she saw Hua Xiqian, she always wanted to explode. He had inexplicably become a barrel of gunpowder. Ah, that matter, I know, but this matter was not decided by me. Don't lie to me. You're the boss of the Hua Corporation now. You have the final say. If it's not you, who else has the right to control it? And Dad and Sister Mian, Hua Zhenghai. Hua Min frowned slightly. To be honest, this was indeed Dad's decision. I don't know why he did this, but I guess he might be trying to protect his two children, so he wants to force you to compromise on the demolition, then find them and cooperate with them. He is actually so vicious. He's always been like this. Hua Xiqian smiled. You're not lying to me, are you? You can check it out yourself. Plus, what good will it do me to let you move? I'm not interested in the land and the slums. If you think the price is too low, I can compensate you privately. I can even give you 150,000 yuan per square meter. But if Dad finds out that I helped you, he'll probably skin me alive. But I'm not afraid, for Sister Mian, skin me alive is nothing. After speaking, Hua Xiqian looked at Hua Min's delicate little face and smiled. His smile was exceptionally gentle. President Hua, the meeting is about to start, postpone it. President Hua, but... The female secretary seemed very anxious. Get out. After being yelled at by Hua Xiqian, the female secretary immediately closed the door, not daring to disturb him. You don't have to interfere. If it's really Hu Zhenghai, I know what to do. So, you're going against Dad. He's not my dad, and you're not my older brother. After speaking, Huamin stood up and left. Looking at Huamin's back, Hua Xiqian whistled. I don't want to be your older brother either. After walking out of the office, Huamin was stopped by the female secretary. Miss Hua, President Hua asked me to give you this eye mask. Huamin thought, was there anyone in the world more perverted than Hua Xiqian? The answer was, of course not. On the way back to the hospital, Huamin's emotions were very complicated. Suddenly, she saw a sign on the side of a hotel. It was a press conference for a certain celebrity. Huamin screeched the car to a stop and strode in, cleverly bypassing the staff and security. In the VIP lounge, Zhao Qingya was touching up her makeup. Huamin pushed open the door and walked in. He walked up to Zhao Qingya, grabbed her, and slapped her across the face. Zhao Qingya was stunned, and fell onto the sofa. Chapter 469. Where did this crazy woman come from? Are all the security guards dead? The agent was also dumbfounded. Huamin looked at Zhao Qingya and chuckled. Miss Zhao, you sure have guts. How dare you scheme against me? I don't know what you're talking about. Zhao Qingya looked at Huamin guiltily. Ever since she contacted the people, they were full of confidence and promised to get the job done after they received a deposit of 500,000 yuan. Indeed, she used the same method to teach a starlet who wanted to compete for Huamian's favor a lesson. Not long after, something happened to that woman and she couldn't stay in the company anymore. She left Sea City and disappeared without a trace. Originally, she wanted to use the same method to deal with Mian, a newcomer who had been popular for a while. However, before she could do anything, she realized that Suyu had already ignored Mian, which saved her money. Huamin's photo became Suyu's screensaver. This made her feel very serious. She tried to warn Huamin but failed, so she used the same method again. However, she didn't think that something would happen this time. After those people left, they didn't contact her again. She didn't dare to call them directly. Instead, she went through a middleman. The middleman said that they didn't have any news yet and didn't know if they succeeded. At the time, she wondered if they took the money and ran away. Later, she thought that was impossible. The deposit was only 500,000 yuan. Those people wouldn't ignore the big one and go for the small one. Therefore, she continued to wait. To her surprise, the person she waited for was Huamin. Zhao Qingya, you know what you're talking about. They already confessed. Otherwise, why would I come to you? Huamin glanced at Zhao Qingya coldly. Zhao Qingya's expression changed slightly. Then, she smiled slyly. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Don't set a trap for me. I won't fall for it. Originally, I wanted to teach you a lesson, but now I have changed my mind, because I have a better idea than this. Zhao Qingya felt her hair stand on end as she looked at Huamin's meaningful smile. Then, she heard Huamin continue, I've always been a person who doesn't offend people unless they offend me. But since you've attacked me, I definitely won't let you off. So what if you can't tolerate me? Don't forget that I'm a celebrity under Imperial Star. President Su won't let anything happen to me. Is that so? Then I want to see it even more. I think, this might be the last time we meet. What do you mean? Zhao Qingya panicked. Could it be that she had evidence and wanted to call the police? However, she was not afraid of calling the police. As long as Suyu appeared, she would be fine. However, Zhao Qingya didn't expect that Suyu would still protect her if he knew that she had hurt Huamin. This woman had been blinded by the conspiracy. She only wanted to get rid of Huamin, but she had forgotten that she was standing on the edge of a cliff. Not wanting to waste any more time with Zhao Qingya, Huamin stood up and walked out. Just as he was about to open the door, he saw Suyu walk in. Since the movie release was important, Suyu, as the president, would be there for an interview. Huamin, why are you here? Seeing Huamin, Suyu was surprised at first, but then his eyes filled with joy. Why am I here? Haha, you should ask your female artists. Then, Huamin pushed Suyu away and left. Huamin. He wanted to ask, but she didn't give him a chance. Suyu walked up to Zhao Qingya and frowned slightly. What happened? I don't know what happened. She ran in like a crazy person and slapped me. Look. Zhao Qingya turned her face away and cried pitifully. Her agent also added fuel to the fire. Yeah, President Su, who is that woman? The movie release is about to begin. How can she go on stage with Qingya like this? Why did she hit you? Suyu stared into her eyes and asked word for word. Zhao Qingya felt that Suyu was angry, but she didn't know where it came from. Chapter 470. President Su, I think it's because I gave her a handbag when I visited you at the hospital last time. Maybe she thought I insulted her, so she doesn't like me anymore. As far as I know, Huamin doesn't get angry easily. With her personality, the fact that she slapped you is enough to prove that you did something unforgivable. Zhao Qingya stared at Suyu, dumbfounded. She didn't think that Suyu would know Huamin so well. Huamin didn't say anything, but he already guessed what happened. It was terrifying. President Su, it's not like that. That woman isn't that simple. Really, she's very capable. She is. Suyu had to admit that. So, I don't know what I did to anger her and she came here to cause trouble. Really, when she ran in, she scared me. I don't know what happened, but she slapped me in the face. I feel so wronged, President Su, you have to help me. That little nurse is too arrogant. Ever since I came to our company, I've never been so wronged. Then, Zhao Qingya sat down on the sofa and began to cry. Her tears were like raindrops on a pear blossom. Normal men would be heartbroken if they saw her like this. Zhao Qingya was right. Ever since she joined Imperial Star, she relied on Suyu's love and combined herself with a scheming bitch and a pretentious bitch. Other than Suyu, no one seemed to be able to suppress her. Therefore, she became bolder and bolder. Seeing her cry so sadly, Suyu bent down and squatted down in front of her. He took out a tissue from his suit and gently wiped her tears. Zhao Qingya was surprised and pleasantly surprised by his sudden love. President Su. Qingya, tell me, what did you do to Huamin? Suyu's voice was gentle, almost magical. I really didn't. Qingya, this is your last chance. Tell me the truth. I really didn't do anything. You have to believe me, President Su. Zhao Qingya felt that she had been with Suyu for a long time. No matter how bad Huamin was, he was still a newbie. He wouldn't doubt her words. She was just testing him. Therefore, she insisted that she did not do anything. She didn't notice the slight disappointment in Suyu's eyes when he heard this. All right, I got it. After speaking, Suyu stood up and walked out. President Su. Get ready and touch up your makeup. There's a press conference later. With that, Suyu walked out of the door. The moment he stepped out of the door, Suyu's expression turned cold. Xiao and President Su. Go and investigate this matter for me. You must tell me everything. I want to know everything. Yes, President Su. Xiaoan was a young man in his early 20s. He was thin, small, and average-looking. He was one of Suyu's assistants. he didn't talk much and didn't have any friends. Every time there were a lot of people around, he would quietly follow Suyu around like a loyal bodyguard. Because of this incident, Suyu was no longer in the mood to attend press conferences. At the press conference, Zhao Qingya walked onto the stage with a thick layer of makeup on her face. She answered all the questions from the media with ease and disguised herself well. In front of everyone, she was still the popular idol in front of the camera. An hour later, President Su, I found it, Suyu's personal assistant reported in a low voice. Speak. Chapter 471. Zhao Qingya did try to harm Miss Hua this time, but she didn't succeed. Miss Hua escaped and contacted the police to send those people to jail. She's still being held at the Municipal Public Security Bureau because they don't have any evidence that points to Zhao Qingya. Then, and handed Suyu a thick stack of files and photos, he finally understood what had happened. Seeing Zhao Qingya's scheme, Suyu's face fell instantly. How dare this woman? Maybe she thinks she'll be fine since she's an artist of Imperial Star and a star and guest. And get someone to deliver this evidence to Gao Ran, the captain of the Municipal Bureau's criminal police force. President Su, can't Zhao Qingya sit down? Go, that's what I want. After making the arrangements, President Su leaned back on the sofa and closed his eyes. An hour later, after the press conference, Zhao Qingya got off the stage and walked towards the lounge. However, she was stopped by Gao Ran and a few officers. Miss Zhao Qingya, right? I'm Gao Ran, the captain of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. I'd like to invite Miss Zhao to the bureau for tea. Zhao Qingya's expression changed drastically. Tea? Captain Gao, you must be joking. Miss Zhao, I've never joked around. Please cooperate with us. Do you know who I am? Zhao Qingya was angry. Obviously, we do. We also know what you've been doing lately. Captain Gao, you're so funny. If you're my fan, you can ask for my autograph or a photo. However, I'm afraid I can't go with you. I have other plans later. Really? If that's the case, then I'm sorry. Come, take her away. At Gao Ran's order, two officers immediately walked up and grabbed Zhao Qingya. Hey, what are you doing? Let go of me. Zhao Qingya struggled with all her might. Which bureau are you from? Do you know who our president is? You're in trouble if you offend Mr. Su. Let go of Miss Zhao Qingya. Zhao Qingya's agent tried to subdue Suyu. Ha! Even if Heavenly King Zhu did something wrong, I'll take him away with me if I have evidence. Then, they escorted Zhao Qingya out of the room. Just as they came out, Suyu coincidentally came out as well. Seeing Suyu, Zhao Qingya was overjoyed. President Su, save me. President Su, these police officers want to take me away. She knew that as long as Suyu said something, or if Suyu called the chief of the municipal bureau, this matter would be settled. The Su family had such a huge reputation. However, Suyu remained expressionless as he glanced at Zhao Qingya's face, which was covered in hyaluronic acid. Qingya. I remember I gave you a chance. President Su, but you didn't cherish it. Go, this is what you deserve. After that, Suyu walked towards the door, and then followed closely behind Suyu. President Su, save me. Don't leave me here. President Su. Zhao Qingya cried her heart out. She had a feeling that once she went in, everything would be over. Suyu had indeed given her a chance. If she had told Suyu everything honestly back then, her punishment might not have been so severe. However, people always hoped for a fluke. Zhao Qingya had been pretending to be innocent, so Suyu was ruthless to her. Of course, she might not know that Suyu was the one who provided the evidence to destroy her. Suyu knew about what happened back then, but that actress wasn't a good person either, so he didn't do anything about it. But this time, it was different. She almost harmed Hwamin, the only woman Suyu had liked for more than 20 years. President Su, what should we do next? After all, Zhao Qingya was a celebrity in the company, so one couldn't be too hasty. Therefore, he asked Suyu carefully for his opinion. Chapter 472. Tell the police station to keep a low profile and don't let anyone know about this. Tell the PR department to spread the news that Zhao Qingya is leaving the entertainment industry due to illness and is going abroad for treatment. Okay. And nodded. When Gao Ran received the package at the Municipal Public Security Bureau, he immediately came to arrest Zhao Qingya with his men. There was too much evidence, including a phone call between Zhao Qingya and the middleman. There was a record of Zhao Qingya's assistant transferring money to the middleman, and there was even a video of Zhao Qingya ordering an actress to be killed. There was a ton of evidence. Gao Ran didn't know who sent all this, but he knew that Zhao Qingya was done for. Since she was a celebrity under Imperial Star, they kept a low profile and locked her up. To the public, Imperial Star only announced that Zhao Qingya was going abroad for treatment, and the media reported that Zhao Qingya was suffering from depression. Maybe it was because she was under too much pressure. Hwamin wasn't surprised to see this at all. She believed that Suyu would investigate. Once Suyu found out, he probably wouldn't go easy on Zhao Qingya. She knew that Suyu was obsessed with her, so he definitely wouldn't let Zhao Qingya off the hook. However, she didn't expect that Suyu would personally send Zhao Qingya to prison. Since there was a ton of evidence and she had a criminal record, Zhao Qingya was sentenced to 8 years in prison after being charged by the police. However, she didn't want to accept it and wanted to appeal, so she had to wait for the second trial. After Gao Ran took care of everything, he sent a WeChat message to Hwamin. Did Qin Chu do this? He's so ruthless. There's so much evidence, it's scary. For a woman like Zhao Qingya, 8 years in prison was enough to destroy her life. 8 years was enough to turn her from a superstar into a prisoner with nothing. All of her assets were confiscated, and her agent was sentenced to 1 year and 9 months for being an accomplice. It wasn't him. Who else could it be? You don't have to ask. Just don't let Qin Chu know. Hwamin actually felt uncomfortable after using Suyu. However, this was the only way to punish Zhao Qingya. Hwamin wasn't a saint, so he didn't need to pity that evil woman. Suyu knew Hwamin well. Even if she didn't say anything, he would find out the truth. Was Hwamin's plan know that Hwamin? Maybe Suyu knew that he was already being used by Hwamin. Suyu didn't regret using him to get rid of Zhao Qingya, because he felt he should do it for Hwamin. If it weren't for Hwamin, Zhao Qingya wouldn't have caused trouble for Hwamin. Everything happened for a reason. Hwamin didn't get angry after being used. This was one of the smartest things about Hwamin. It was enough to prove that he was considerate. He didn't want Qin Chu to make a move because he was afraid that if Qin Chu directly attacked Zhao Qingya, it might anger Suyu. After all, one had to look at the owner before beating a dog. Okay, I got it. Goddess Hua, you have to be careful in the future. Don't let anything happen to you again. Zhu Lingling and I were scared to death. Since when did your name become tied to Lingling's? Hwamin asked with a smile. Ahem, no, you heard wrong. What I meant was that we're both good friends of yours. Of course we're worried about you. Don't worry, I'm a doctor. The needles and medicine I carry around with me are enough to make them suffer, Hwamin chuckled. Okay, being a doctor is scary. In the future, when I get married, I definitely won't marry a doctor. Who knows, one day, if I get into an argument or have an affair, they'll give me a shot of euthanasia. Hwamin laughed. So, There's a reason why Chin Chu is so scared of me. Let's stop fooling around. Let's get down to business. Your birthday is in a few days. Have you thought about how you're going to celebrate it? You remembered. Hua Min was surprised. Chin Chu wasn't the only one who told me about it. Zhu Lingling told me too. Everyone wants to give you an unforgettable birthday. How can I forget it when you've already told me so? Do you know what Chin Chu prepared for you? Gao Ran asked mysteriously. Chapter 473. I don't know. Just wait. You'll be surprised when the time comes. It sounds like you know. Can you tell me a little? Hua Min asked with a smile. No way. Chin Chu will kill me. That's all. After speaking, Gao Ran hung up the phone. She knew how good Chin Chu was to her. Therefore, this birthday was very important to Chin Chu. Hua Min, who was born in September, sadly became a Virgo, the most disliked sign among the 12 zodiac signs. This was because Virgos were misophobic and had zero tolerance for cheating. It was said that it was very difficult for them to fall in love. If they fell in love, they would love them for the rest of their lives. It was very tiring to live with such a stubborn zodiac sign. After work, when Hua Min returned home, Chin Chu was already home. So early today. Yeah. What do you want to eat tonight? I'll make it. We're not eating at home tonight. Where are we going if we're not at home? What do you want to eat this time? Hua Min asked with a smile. We're going back to the old mansion. Why do you want to go back? Hua Min felt a little uncomfortable when she heard Chin Chu mention the old mansion. You're my wife. Of course you have to go back. Also, didn't you say that you wanted to go to our house for dinner? When she thought of that, Hua Min didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I said it out of anger to make your mom angry. I didn't really want to go. I was just saying it. Why did you take it so seriously? I'm a man of my word. Who knows if my mom is still waiting for you at home? Don't scare me. She'll wait for me. If she waits for me, she'll kill me. It's okay. With your husband here, who would dare? After speaking, Chin Chu ignored Hua Min's objections and put a jacket on her. The two walked out hand in hand. I'm probably going to drink with my dad later. You drive, honey. Sure. Drive your car. Seeing that Hua Min was about to go to the Maybach, Chin Chu suddenly said. Wasn't my car repaired? Hua Min was stunned. No, it's not that one. It's this one. He pointed at a brand new silver gray Audi R8. Ahem, is this the new car you bought for me? Well, it's a little cheap, but Audi is a low-key brand that suits your personality. It's also imported from Germany, so it's very suitable for you. Cheap? Are you kidding me, Mr. Chin? Hua Min was speechless. Did Chin Chu think she didn't know anything about cars? With the current luxurious configuration of this car, it would cost at least 2 million yuan. It was not cheap at all. Originally, I had my eyes on a limited edition Ferrari, but I felt that it was too high profile. I was afraid that it would be unsafe for you to be targeted. Hua Min was speechless. I'll go with this one. This one is pretty good. Compared to a flashy car like a Ferrari, Hua Min still preferred an Audi. If she drove a limited edition Ferrari to South Side, it would probably explode, because even Deputy Director Guo's car wasn't as flashy as hers. It would attract unwanted attention. Hua Min carefully took the keys and sat in the driver's seat. Chin Chu sat in the passenger seat and even helped Hua Min fasten her seatbelt. Honey, drive slowly. My life is in your hands. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Then, Huamin stepped on the gas pedal and the car zoomed out. Chin Chu was scared out of his wits. He began to think, was buying a sports car for Huamin the right decision? Chin Manor, Chin Chu and Huamin got out of the car. Then, Chin Chu took out a few bags of expensive bird's nest and sea cucumber from the trunk. It seemed like he had already prepared this beforehand. Let's go, it'll be fine. Chin Chu grabbed Huamin with his other hand and pressed the doorbell. Madam, young master is back. The housekeeper was very happy to see Chin Chu. Lady Chin walked down the stairs in a deep red velvet cheongsam. The moment she saw Huamin, her expression changed. Mom, I brought your daughter-in-law home for dinner. Chin Chu smiled and squeezed Huamin's hand. Chapter 474. I don't have a daughter-in-law, did you get the wrong person? You sure know how to joke. Huamin didn't wait for Chin Chu to speak and walked in without a trace of nervousness. Chin Chu followed him in and placed the gifts at the door. Mom, Mian bought all of this. Take it away, I don't want it, Lady Chin said angrily. Her son called in the morning and told her that he was coming home for dinner. She was happy for a long time. She personally prepared 16 dishes, all of which were her son's favorites. However, she didn't expect to bring home a scourge. She was so upset. Where's Dad? He's reading. Is dinner ready, Mom? Mom? Chin Chu asked. Yes, but I only made 3 people. I didn't expect you to bring someone home, Lady Chin said deliberately. Huamin smiled and intimately held on to Chin Chu's arm. It's okay, my husband can eat less and give me his share. Lady Chin was immediately furious. Just as she was about to explode, Chin Chu lovingly patted her head. Okay, eat whatever you want. Okay, I won't hold back. Huamin smiled, not taking Lady Chin seriously at all. Just then, Chin Yumin came downstairs. You guys are back. Dad, this is Mian, Chin Chu proudly introduced her. Hello, Uncle. Huamin smiled as well. Okay, sit down. Chin Yumin didn't say anything. Although his expression wasn't very good, he didn't do anything in the end. He had already accepted the fact that his son was married to this woman. The 4 of them sat at the large table and awkwardly finished their meal. Chin Yumin glanced at Chin Chu. Chu, come with me, I have something to tell you about the company. Chin Chu looked at Huamin worriedly. She smiled as if to say, go ahead, I'll be fine. As soon as Chin Chu left, Lady Chin revealed her true colors. She looked at Huamin ferociously. Woman, what are you trying to do? What did you say to my son? Bewitched him to bring you back. It's nothing. I suddenly remembered that I told you that I would visit your house a few days ago. How could I forget? You really have the guts to come. Let me tell you, get out of my sight right now. Don't let me see you again. Also, take away your stinky things. I don't want them. Don't think that I'll accept you just because you're trying to please me and buy me things. Lady Chin threw the gifts on the ground. Ha, you make it sound like I'm willing to accept you. Let me tell you, I didn't buy those things. Chin Chu bought them. Do you think I'll spend a penny on you when our relationship is so bad? You're thinking too much. You can throw them away. They're Chin Chu's money anyway. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you. Do you see the R8 outside? Chin Chu just bought it for me. As long as I like it, he's willing to buy it for me. Didn't you say that I've always wanted your money? Indeed, it feels good to have money. You shameless woman. I really don't know why my son likes you. How dare you say that? You've done everything you can to make my son spend money on you. If you want money, just name a price. How much is it? I'll give it to you. I'll treat it as a beggar. Take the money and get out of my house. Don't disgust my family. I'm sorry, but you can't afford the amount I want. I want the entire GK Corporation. You. Lady Chin was so angry that she couldn't catch her breath. She fell onto the sofa. Just then, Chin Chu and his father walked downstairs. Chapter 475. Just as Lady Chin was about to cry and complain, Wamin immediately went up to help her up. Auntie, are you okay? It was too dangerous just now. Why are you wearing high heels at home at night? What if you fell? You. I'm sorry, I can only call you Auntie, because you and Uncle didn't pay me to change the way I address you. Huamin continued to smile and stopped Lady Chin from talking. Chin Chu walked downstairs and smiled. Did you see that? My wife isn't happy that you didn't give her a red packet. We still have to give you a red packet. When we find a good day, we'll hold a dinner party for you guys, Chin Yumin said slowly. Thank you, Uncle. Huamin smiled and walked up to Chin Chu. Lady Chin was so angry that tears came out of her eyes, but she couldn't say anything because Huamin stopped her. Look, you're an adult now. Why are you crying after falling? Chin Yumin walked over to support his wife. Thank you for dinner. We're leaving now. We'll visit you guys more often in the future. Huamin emphasized the word more often. Then, she grabbed Chin Chu's arm and walked out. As soon as they walked out of the door, Lady Chin sat down on the sofa and began to cry loudly. What did I do wrong? Why did Chu marry a woman like this? He's forcing me into a dead end. What's going on? Chin Yumin was confused when he saw how emotional his wife was. Didn't you see how good that vixen was at acting? She tricked our son into thinking that she was a good daughter-in-law in front of us. You don't know how she treated me when you guys went upstairs. Inside the Audi R8, did I go too far? Huamin asked softly. What's wrong? I made your mom so angry that she cried. Ha! She's really too much. Why is she competing with a junior like you? She's really getting older and more like a child. Huamin knew that he could not fool Chin Chu. They knew each other too well. She was just wondering if Chin Chu was already prejudiced against her after what she had done. Huamin didn't say anything else. Why are you unhappy? Do you not like the car? No, I like it very much. Is this my birthday present? Huamin asked. Birthday present? Of course not. How could I use this as a gift? It's too insincere. I heard from Gao Ran that you were going to give me a surprise. This kid, his mouth is too loose. Tell him not to spout nonsense. He didn't say anything. He only said that there was a surprise waiting for me and that I was looking forward to it. Just wait. You'll know when the time comes. Chin Chu smiled mysteriously. The next morning, Huamin drove his new car to work at Southside. As expected, it caused quite a stir. Although there were many Mercedes-Benzes and BMWs, there weren't many sports cars. Audi R8 couldn't be compared to Ferrari or Lamborghini. However, it was still a luxury car. Its price wasn't any lower than a Porsche or Maserati. She purposely chose a turtleneck today because Chin Chu, that beast, was too crazy last night. He left a lot of hickeys on her neck. In order to cover her tracks, she wore a turtleneck. She didn't think that the cream-colored turtleneck paired with a pair of white casual pants and a ponytail would make her look very young. In reality, Huamin was only 24 years old. She was indeed very young. She was the youngest head nurse at Southside. She was also the strictest and most reputable head nurse at Southside. She had a great reputation. Other than being a little cold, she was a good person. Wow. Head nurse, you're rich. Looking at the luxury car, a few young nurses surrounded the office and questioned her. My boyfriend gave it to me. Hua Min smiled. Your boyfriend is a rich kid, right? He's so rich, he gave away a car worth over 2 million yuan. Yeah, I'm a little rich. I'm getting married soon, so he gave me this car. Hua Min didn't want everyone to think that she was rich, so she directly revealed that she was getting married. That's great, you're going to marry into a rich family. I'm not rich, I'm just a well-off family, Hua Min said humbly. Head nurse, there's a delivery, please sign for it, a young nurse at the door shouted. The other nurses immediately left, leaving Hua Min alone in the office. The delivery guy slowly walked in. What delivery is it this time? Hua Min asked casually. It's me. Hearing the voice, Hua Min looked up in surprise. Under the yellow baseball cap was a devilish face. Chapter 476. Suyu. Why are you dressed up like this? Hua Min almost went crazy when he saw that the delivery man was actually Suyu in disguise. The media has been following me closely lately. I have to be careful when I go out during the day. Why are you looking for me? Can't I come to see you because I miss you? Suyu casually sat down in the chair across from Hua Min. Hua Min remained silent. I'm sorry about what happened to Zhao Qingya. Why are you apologizing? It's not your fault. Hua Min looked up at Suyu. I didn't kill Boren, but Boren died because of me. The logic is the same. It's not my fault. However, Zhao Qingya attacked you because of me. Fortunately, you're fine. Otherwise, I would feel guilty for the rest of my life. Don't say that. Didn't you get revenge for me? You sent the evidence, didn't you? Yeah, I gave her a chance, but she didn't cherish it. I thought that if she told the truth, I'd just ban her and lock her up for 3 or 4 years. But now it's 8 years. I heard that the second trial upheld the original verdict. You did something to it, right? Hua Min heard from Gao Ran that Zhao Qingya refused to accept the verdict and wanted to appeal. However, the second trial upheld the original verdict. Yeah, 8 years is a light sentence for her. It's not light. She's a celebrity. 8 years in prison will ruin her life. You pity her? Suyu asked with a smile. Of course not, I'm just stating the truth. So, you used me. Is that a fact? Hua Min paused for a second and replied, it's a fact, but I didn't do it on purpose. It's okay, I don't blame you. Very few people can see through me. You just happen to know my weakness. I was thinking, God arranged for me to meet you on purpose, but didn't give me a chance. Is he trying to kill me? Ha! Suyu smiled bitterly. So you came here today to complain to me? Of course not. I said that I miss you, so I'm here to see you. Your lousy Weibo is always offline. I've been watching it for a long time, but I didn't get anything. I don't use Weibo often. Add me on WeChat. No. Tisk tsk, you're still so heartless. Suyu laughed. He knew that Hua Min was still so unreasonable. Did you change your car? He saw that Hua Min's parking space had been replaced by an Audi R8. Yes. Qin Chu is really stingy. If you were my wife, I would definitely give you a Bugatti Veyron. Hua Min, I like Audi. I like this brand. It has nothing to do with money. Hua Min. Suyu suddenly said in a serious tone. Huamin looked up. Do you know what I like most about you? I don't know. I like how pretentious you are. It's so fucking rare. Suyu laughed maniacally. Huamin, okay, she finally found someone more perverted than Huasiqian. It had to be Suyu. Get me a glass of water, I'm thirsty. Huamin picked up a paper cup, filled it with water, and handed it to her. It's almost your birthday. Do you want a present? Suyu asked nonchalantly after drinking the water. How did you know? Haha, it's easy for me to find out. I don't want anything. Don't give me anything, I won't accept it. Huamin knew that Suyu always burned money like crazy, she would never accept such an expensive item. As your good friend, I'm giving you a birthday present. What's wrong with that? Don't be so pretentious. Tell me, what do you want? As long as you want it, as long as I have it. Suyu. Huamin bit his lips and said. We're never friends. Huamian raised her head and stared into Suyu's eyes, enunciating each word clearly. Suyu felt like something deep in his heart was slowly being torn apart. It hurt, it hurt. Chapter 477. Yes, you're right, we're never friends. Suyu lowered his head and repeated Huamin's words. To be exact, Suyu felt that he already had deep feelings for Huamin, but Huamin never accepted any of his kindness. She didn't want the things he gave her, and she rejected everything he wanted to be nice to her. From the very beginning, she knew who she was. Even if no one reminded her, she didn't want to have too much to do with Suyu. I'm sorry, I may have been a little harsh, but... Huamin looked at Suyu's dazed expression and felt bad. It's okay, I've always known how important I am to you. I know I can't compare to Qin Chu, at least not now. But Huamin, remember, Suyu may have a bad reputation in the past, and I'm a jerk, but from this moment on, I'm going to work hard to become the most important person in your heart. Even if I can't replace Qin Chu, I'm going to be the most important person in your heart. Whether it's a friend or a lover, I'm going to work hard for this goal, and I'm not going to give up. Suyu's words really shocked Huamin. Suyu didn't look like he was joking. Huamin was very worried and wanted to make it clear to Suyu. He didn't want to give him any hope. Suyu, don't be like this, it's impossible between us, and it's impossible. It's not up to you whether it's possible or not, it's up to God. I believe that if God arranged for me to meet you, it wasn't just to play with me. Goodbye. After that, Suyu didn't give Huamin a chance to speak. He turned around and left. Leaving Huamin alone in the office, he didn't feel good about it. In the end, a relationship was a matter between two people. She and Qin Chu were just right, although they had been very tired and careful in order to maintain this relationship. However, she had always known who the man she cherished the most and loved the most was. And Suyu's involvement would not only make the space too crowded, but most importantly, with Suyu's wealth and conditions, there was absolutely no need for him to bear the charge of being a third party. Moreover, Huamin had never thought of herself as a peerless beauty, and there was nothing about her that could attract men. However, Suyu seemed to have been bewitched, stubbornly refusing to let go. Suyu left the recuperation area with a heavy heart. He took off his weird delivery suit and put on a luxurious branded one. Then, he drove his cool Lamborghini all the way to a certain club. Wow, you're early today. Tang Chuan was quite surprised to see Suyu not in the company but in the club at this time. Look at your face, I'm guessing you're not happy. What's wrong? You look like you're not satisfied. Do you want me to find a woman to put you out? Wei Liao laughed as well. Suyu didn't say anything. He walked over and sat down. Then, he poured himself a glass of wine and downed it in one gulp, it's her birthday soon. Who? Whose birthday is it? Tang Chuan froze. Who else could it be? The girl she loves, of course. Why, it's her birthday, so you want to do a good job. Wei Liao immediately guessed Su Yu's intentions. Yeah, help me think, what gift should I give her? How can I give her an unforgettable birthday? That's easy. Send out your cruise ship, go to international waters, and party for 24 hours until dawn, Tang Chuan suggested. How lame. Su Yu gave him a cold look. Why don't you book the entire Ritz-Carlton and invite all the artists under your company to party for her birthday? That's too ostentatious. Won't the whole city know about it the next day? Then I don't have any better ideas. Old Wei, you do it. Tang Chuan proposed 2 ideas, but they were both rejected by Su Yu. He directly threw the hot potato to Wei Liao. Wei Liao smiled evilly. Su Yu knew that he was up to no good. Chapter 478. Sure enough, Wei Liao said slowly, in my opinion, don't be too ostentatious. Just drive your RV and take her to the top of the mountain. You can enjoy the night view, have a candlelit dinner, drink some red wine, and then drug her and have sex in the car. As long as what's done can't be undone, I'm not afraid that she won't listen to me in the future, right? Su Yu asked. Correct. Wei Liao nodded. Fuck off. I knew you wouldn't come up with any good ideas. I'd rather think about it myself. With that, Su Yu stood up and left. Hey, you just got here and you're leaving already. Tang Chuan yelled, reluctant to see him leave. You guys go ahead and drink. I need some peace and quiet to think about it. Damn, he's not serious, is he? I haven't seen him so serious in a long time. He didn't even take Imperial Star's annual gala seriously, okay? Huamin is a god. Tang Chuan exclaimed. You just realized. I thought that woman was a god a long time ago. She's married to Qin Chu and can make Su Yu's heart itch. Do you think she's an ordinary woman? I think she's average looking. At most, she's elegant but not a peerless beauty. A woman's charm doesn't lie in her looks. Beauty alone won't last long. She has to rely on her methods. Wei Liao smiled. So you're saying Huamin is a very clever person? I didn't say that. I only know that she's very, very good. Wei Liao had heard of Huamin's stories. She was a strange woman. When they were in high school, Qin Chu was deeply in love with her because of all the interesting things that had happened to her. The strangest thing was that Huamin didn't treat Su Yu nicely from beginning to end at Southside Recuperation Center. Unfortunately, this grandpa was infatuated with her. Moreover, he was so infatuated that his head was spinning. If one were to say that Huamin was playing hard to get, then one could only say that she was playing hard to get. Su Yu didn't want a $10 million sports car, and he didn't want a $50 million jewel. It was the first time in his life that Su Yu couldn't give anything away. It would be a lie to say that Huamin did not love money. Everyone loved money, but Huamin was not greedy. A gentleman's desire for wealth was justified. He felt that there was no reason for him to take Su Yu's things for free. His 3 values were still very upright, and he was also quite a person with moral integrity. Huamin probably had enough to worry about with a suitor like Su Yu who had no moral integrity. When he got off work in the evening, Huamin had already prepared the dough, baked a few scallion pancakes, and made a light tomato and cucumber soup. When Qin Chu came in, the soup was ready. What delicious food are you making now? I can smell it from afar. There's really nothing delicious today, just some simple pancakes and soup. After saying that, Huamin carefully took out the soup bowl. I'm so lucky to have married such a virtuous wife. Then can I say that I'm proud of marrying into a rich family? Huamin smiled and reached out to take off her apron. Chin Chu was one step faster than her. He walked behind her and gently helped her take off her apron. Didn't I tell you not to go into the kitchen? But I got off work early, and I have nothing to do. Ha, hurry up and eat. Chin Chu took off his jacket and sat across from Huamin. The two of them had a simple dinner, and the TV was on. Occasionally, they would listen to the news. Huamin loved this simple daily life. She always felt that this was what she wanted the most. Stable, simple, and happy. After dinner, Chin Chu cleaned up the dishes and went into the study to work. Huamin was watching the 8 p.m. TV show on TV. It wasn't until 10 p.m. that she felt sleepy. She went upstairs to take a shower and then went to bed. At this time, Chin Chu also finished his work. After taking a hot shower, he went to bed and hugged Huamin. He lovingly kissed her on the cheek. "You're so mushy." Huamin chuckled. "I can't get enough of kissing my wife." "Of course, if you kiss someone else's wife, you'll be in trouble. You've always been a sharp-tongued person. There's only one way to deal with that mouth of yours." "What?" Huamin was shocked. "It's like this," Chin Chu said as he lowered his head and bit her rosy lips, catching her off guard. Chapter 479. After a round of tenderness, Huamin was a little shy. She hid under the blankets and refused to come out. Chin Chu, on the other hand, leaned against the headboard and hugged Huamin tightly with one hand. He enjoyed the beautiful night and seemed to be reminiscing about what happened just now. "Honey, I just remembered something." "What is it?" Chin Chu lovingly stroked her silky black hair. "My old house is going to be demolished, and it's going to be forcibly demolished. The compensation is only 1,500 yuan per square meter. The gangsters hired by the real estate company sprayed red paint on the walls. I haven't heard of any new policies from there yet. Why would they suddenly develop that place? Which company did it? Also, 1,500 yuan is too much. Even if it's a civilian area, it should be at least 3,000 yuan to be fair." Chin Chu wasn't surprised. He calmly analyzed the situation. "It's the Huo Corporation." "The Huo Corporation? It seems like he wants to force you to show up." Chin Chu immediately guessed that it was Huo Xinghai's idea. "He probably still thinks that I'm his daughter, so he's pestering me to go back to the Huo Corporation and become a puppet to help Hui Yanyan and Hui Si fight against Hui Siqian." "That's right, but this move is a little despicable. After all, that's where your mother lived for so many years. If it's forcibly demolished, she might not be able to accept it." "That's right. My mother is very emotional, and my brother is going back. The neighbors don't want to move either, and they're being threatened by the gangsters. Huo Xinghai's doing this is really extreme. He wants to force me to submit. He knows that my weakness is my mother and the old house. What about you? What do you think?" Chin Chu looked at Huamin and asked. Huamin rolled his eyes. "I didn't have any ideas at first. You know, I didn't care about the Huo family before I found out about my real identity. Now that I know I'm not a part of the Huo family, I'm even more indifferent. But Huo Zhenghai and Shen Jiani don't seem to want to let us go. They've been making a big deal out of this, so I have an idea. You plan to use this opportunity to return to the Huo Corporation, and then..." Chin Chu didn't finish his sentence, but it was obvious that the two of them had a tacit understanding. "Hubby, you really know me the best." Huamin smiled and pinched Chin Chu's chiseled chin coquettishly. "But, if you go back to the Huo Corporation, you might not be able to leave." Chin Chu was worried that Huamin would take the risk. No, with my IQ, I can easily deal with Hua Zhenghai, Shenjiani, Hua Yanyan, and Hua Si. But don't forget, there's still Hua Siqian. On the surface, I'm going back this time to help Hua Yanyan and the others, but in reality, I'm going to deal with them. So, Hua Siqian is my ally, and I'll use this opportunity to form an alliance with him. That way, I'll be able to achieve twice the result with half the effort. Forming an alliance with him is like forming an alliance with a wolf. That's not a good idea. All these years, Qin Chu had been wary of Hua Siqian. Although he didn't do anything substantial, Qin Chu always felt that Hua Siqian was a very dangerous person. During the 7 years he was in the States, the one thing he worried about the most was that Hua Siqian would attack Hua Min. Other than that, he didn't worry about anything else. Luckily, he didn't. He's not that powerful, don't treat him like a god. He's just an ordinary person without 3 heads and 6 arms. I'm not afraid, don't worry. Mian, why don't you leave this to me? Qin Chu coaxed Hua Min. He always had endless patience. Honey, do you believe in my abilities? I do, but... Then it's fine. Trust me, I want to deal with the Hua family on my own. After all these years, it's time for me to make a clean break with them. Hua Min had been harassed by the Hua family for many years. In the past, she was always labeled as an illegitimate daughter, and after she grew up, she had to deal with their scheming harassment again and again. Now, Hua Zhenghai didn't care about their old relationship and forced Yang Meirong to become homeless. This completely ignited Hua Min's desire to fight. This was the first time she wanted to fight against the Hua family. The next morning, after arriving at South Side, Hua Min called Hua Zhenghai in his office. Mr. Hua, I promise to go back and help you, but you have to stop the demolition immediately, Hua Min said straightforwardly. Chapter 480. Hua Corporation Headquarters, President's Office. Hua Zhenghai was very happy to receive Hua Min's call. Threatening to demolish GK was indeed effective on Hua Min. This was much easier than Shenjiani begging them. That's why I say, these poor people are really stubborn. They don't agree to it even though it's easy to negotiate, and they insist on forcing me to make a move. Hua Zhenghai was very satisfied with Hua Min's compromise and stopped the forced demolition. His plan was simple. First, he would force Hua Min to come back and get closer to him. Second, he would try to get Hua Min to gain a foothold in the company and help Hua Si come back to China to solve the problem. Then, there was the most important third step. When Hua Min fell for his fake fatherly love, he would propose a partnership with GK. Through Hua Min, he would be able to climb up the big tree that was Qin Chu. It was killing 3 birds with 1 stone. President's Office, President Hua, that's what happened. The assistant explained everything to Hua Siqian. Hua Siqian was in a great mood as he played with a miniature globe in his hand. President Hua, Miss Hua is coming back to help the president. How can you still be in the mood to smile? Of course I'm happy that little sister Mian is back. She's finally coming home. Hua Siqian said with deep meaning. But she's our enemy. She's on Hua Yanyan's side, the female assistant said anxiously. No, she's not our enemy. She's our lucky star. Okay, you can go back to work. Yes, President Hua. The female assistant turned around and left. Hua Siqian slowly stood up and looked at the traffic outside the window. Hua Zhenghai's move was great. He forced Hua Min to come back, but Hua Siqian knew that Hua Min wasn't compromising. She came back for revenge. Ever since he was young, he knew Hua Min too well. She was never a coward. Moreover, if he wanted to solve the demolition problem, Qin Chu alone could solve it in minutes, but Qin Chu didn't do anything. This meant that Huamin wanted to solve this problem himself. Looking at the tall buildings in the distance, Wasichen reached out his hand and drew a heart on the tempered glass. Then, he smiled devilishly. It's little sister Mian's birthday soon. What gift should I give her? Huamin's birthday was on September 18th, which was the day of the most famous incident in history. Until now, on this day every year, Sea City would still sound the alarm to remind its citizens to remember their history and not forget their national humiliation. On the morning of September 17th, Huamin received many gifts when he went to the rehabilitation center. Everyone knew that she was a cautious person, so they didn't dare to give her expensive gifts. Most of them were small trinkets. Some of the nurses gave her dozens of yuan worth of scarves, some gave her anti-radiation glasses, and some gave her anti-smog masks. Head nurse, happy birthday in advance. How did you guys know? It's on your resume. Plus, our hospital gives gifts to the leaders like you. I heard that you have a day off, and we even prepare a health supplement for you. I heard it's bird's nest this year. TSK, I'm so jealous. The nurses chattered. Huamin smiled. Thank you for your gifts. I'll treat everyone to lunch. How about ordering food from Gluttonous Uncle? Yay, thank you, head nurse. The nurses were overjoyed. Gluttonous Uncle was a famous takeout restaurant in the city. The food was delicious, but it was a little expensive. Huamin got up and was about to do her rounds when she suddenly saw the young man from room 7 standing at the door. Sister, I heard that tomorrow is your birthday, but you have a day off, so I prepared a gift for you. Then, the young man took out a plush doll that was about 1 meter tall. It was modeled after the Scarecrow in League of Legends. It wasn't cute and was even a little weird, but Huamin liked it because it was a gift from the young man. Thank you, Jiming. Huamin took the doll. I can be discharged in 3 days. I'm recovering well. Thank you for taking care of me all this time. When I go back to school, I'll listen to you and study hard. Good luck. Looking at the rebellious and tyrannical young man with a bright smile, Huamin felt her mood lighten up. At this moment, her WeChat beeped. It was a reminder. Huamin looked down and saw that someone had sent her a red packet. No way, so early. My birthday isn't until tomorrow. Huamin opened WeChat curiously to see who was so annoying. Chapter 481. It was a WeChat red packet with the words, "Girl, happy birthday in advance." Other than Zhu Lingling, no one owed him more than she did. The maximum amount of WeChat red packets was 200 yuan, so when he saw the red packet, Huamin wanted to say, "Damn you, why are you so stingy? You only sent me 200 yuan. Then, he saw the sisters send another red packet, and another red packet. There were a total of 10 red packets, which meant that there was a total of 2,000 yuan. What do you think? Am I a good friend? Zhu Lingling sent him a WeChat message. Sister, can't you just transfer the money? Sending 10 red packets, aren't you afraid of the trouble? Huamin sent a disdainful emoji. You don't understand. Transferring money is so tacky. WeChat red packets represent my feelings. If I send 10 red packets, you'll get tired of receiving them. I'll crush you with money. That's the feeling I want, ha ha ha. You're so perverted, but I don't mind if you continue to crush me with money. Let the storm come even fiercer. Go to hell, how much do you think my monthly salary is? How can it satisfy a rich person like you? If you want big red packets, you have to wait for Mr. Qin. Oh right, you can also blackmail Gao Ren, that big guy. Forget about Gao Ren, don't get in the way of him chasing girls, huh? Is he chasing girls again? Zhu Lingling immediately asked. You seem to care a lot about him, how can you say that he's not involved? Hua Min smirked. Go away, don't talk nonsense. I'm asking you something serious. Why don't you just ask him? I can't answer you. After chatting with Zhu Lingling for a while and working in the morning, it was noon in the blink of an eye. Hua Min ordered takeout for the nurses in his department. Everyone ate happily. During the meal, someone suddenly mentioned Zhao Zhao, the nurse who resigned. Head nurse, did you hear? Zhao Zhao was scammed by that Thai guy. I don't know, I haven't contacted her, Hua Min said honestly. Originally, she thought that she had hooked up with a rich man, but in the end, not only did she fail to hook up with a rich man, but she was also cheated out of a lot of money. Even her savings of many years were cheated out of her. She was extremely miserable. It was said that she was now working as an escort in a certain nightclub. That can't be. Zhao Zhao's temper is so bad. How can she be a hostess? One of the nurses asked. Weren't they all forced? Who can stand the taste of being poor? Besides, you can earn quite a lot from being a hostess. Hua Min thought for a moment and felt that it was miserable enough. Isn't that Thai guy quite rich? Why did you cheat Zhao Zhao of her money? Thinking back to those days when the Thai guy was recuperating in the hospital, Zhao Zhao kept him company every night. They looked very loving. It said that the Thai guy is also a freeloader. He has a wife in Thailand and has a powerful family background, so he didn't have much money on hand. Later, he said that he was having a hard time and even gave Zhao Zhao a diamond. Zhao Zhao took out more than 300,000 yuan of her savings and sold her car to him. In the end, he took the money and ran away, disappearing without a trace. That diamond was also a high-quality imitation. Thai people are so evil, everyone sighed after hearing this, but no one sympathized with her. After all, she walked her own path. Zhao Zhao was eager for quick success, so it wasn't strange that she encountered something like this. Head nurse, you're the one with the best willpower. When young Master Su stayed here for so long, everyone said that he cared about you the most. However, you didn't even look him in the eye. Not many people can resist temptation, one of the nurses complimented. It's not that. I just think that we shouldn't dream too big. People like us can't control people like Su Yu. Plus, I have a boyfriend. Why would I want to mess with someone else? Yes, yes, yes. Head nurse, you're the one with the right values. It's good that you have a boyfriend. You should always walk the right path. Unorthodox methods won't work. After finishing his work in the afternoon, Hua Min packed up his things and drove out of the hospital in his Audi R8. I'm coming. Are you ready? Wei Liao asked anxiously as he sat in a black RV. I'm ready. We can start anytime. I'm counting down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Wei Liao seemed to be very nervous. He looked through his binoculars and saw Hua Min's silver Audi R8 about 300 meters away. Chapter 482. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. Wei Liao ordered into the phone. Suddenly, there was a loud bang from both sides of the viaduct. Hua Min was shocked. She thought that her car's tire had burst. She looked up and saw that there were fireworks on both sides of the viaduct, red, blue, green, purple, and pink. In short, the colorful fireworks were especially beautiful. Every time the fireworks bloomed, they would faintly turn into words. When combined together, they actually read, Happy Birthday. Hua Min drove slowly. Just like this, the places her car passed by were filled with fireworks. It was as if they were deliberately designed for her. At first, she thought that it was a surprise from Qin Chu. But she thought that Qin Chu wouldn't do anything on the 17th. After all, Her birthday was tomorrow, and it wasn't past midnight yet. So, who was it? Was it prepared for her, or was it a coincidence? If it was a coincidence, why were there fireworks everywhere her car passed? Fireworks were strictly prohibited in the city. It was said that agricultural fairs were not allowed, except for New Year's Eve. No department had the right to brazenly set off fireworks like this, unless that person was very powerful. Suddenly, Huamin thought of someone. It must be him. Inside the RV. On the luxurious leather sofa, Wei Liao, Su Yu, and Tang Chuan were sitting inside, drinking red wine. The car slowly followed Huamin not far behind. The places they passed by were filled with fireworks. Isn't her birthday tomorrow? Isn't it a little early today? Tang Chuan muttered. She's celebrating with her husband tomorrow. We won't have a chance to set off fireworks, okay? Wei Liao rolled his eyes at Tang Chuan. Old Wei, can you not be so blunt? Our young master Su's heart is pounding. Su Yu just held his glass of red wine and looked at the fireworks by the roadside. He didn't say a word. He seemed to be thinking about something. Lord Su, I didn't know you could be so romantic. If I were a woman, I would definitely marry you. I don't want you. Don't disgust me. Su Yu smiled. But seriously, if you do this, will she know it's you? Tang Chuan was a little worried. She doesn't need to know, she just needs to appreciate it. Su Yu said quietly. The fireworks along the way attracted a lot of onlookers. Many people stopped their cars to take videos and post them on their moments. Even Jixin uploaded a video to his WeChat moments. Which big brother did this? It's so romantic. But from the looks of it, these fireworks must have burned a lot of money, so I think this is a game between rich people. Huamin looked at it and sighed slightly. Su Yu's actions really surprised her. Was there really any meaning to this? Lord Su, don't just stand there. There's a turn ahead. They're almost home. It's your turn. Wei Liao put down his wine glass and reminded Su Yu. Su Yu also put down his wine glass and slowly stood up. Speed up, catch up to that Audi R8 and force her to stop, Su Yu ordered the driver domineeringly. The driver stepped on the gas pedal and immediately sped off. He suddenly stopped not far in front of Huamin. Huamin was so scared that he immediately stepped on the brakes as well. Then, Su Yu, wearing a black leather jacket and beige casual pants, walked out of the RV. He walked up to Huamin's car and knocked on the window. Get out. No. Why? Su Yu raised his eyebrows. I don't know what you're up to this time. You're not going to force a kiss on me, are you? I'm telling you, Su Yu, don't do anything stupid. We're on the street, and there are so many people watching. Huamin was scared out of his wits and was very wary of Su Yu. He was a madman, and if he really did something out of line, how would he explain it to Qin Chu? Chapter 483. Forced a kiss. Sis, you sure have a wild imagination. Su Yu was speechless. Hurry up and get out of the car. Otherwise, we're going to waste time here. Su Yu pointed at the cars behind them impatiently. The sudden stop on the highway caused the cars behind them to jam up and honk their horns non-stop. The traffic police immediately rushed over, but when they saw that it was Su Yu, they didn't dare to approach. Instead, they held on to their walkie-talkies and tried to calm the cars behind them. Huamin turned around and was shocked. In less than a minute, there were at least 40 to 50 cars blocking the road. The scene was quite spectacular, and the beeping sound made her feel unusually frustrated. Finally, she decided to get out of the car. Huamin reluctantly opened the car door and got out of the driver's seat. What's the matter? Hurry up and tell me. Suyu glanced at her, then took off something from his neck and stuffed it into Huamin's hand. Huamin was just about to say that she didn't want it. Suyu said, "Don't worry, this isn't anything expensive. It's just an ordinary bullet shell. I kept it as a souvenir when I was in the army. I thought it looked pretty, so I kept it with me. Happy birthday. If you don't mind it being worthless, please accept it. It's a token of my appreciation." Suyu was very smart. His words blocked Huamin's way out. He was only giving her a bullet shell, which really wasn't anything valuable. If Huamin didn't accept it, then it would mean that she didn't like it. So this time, Huamin really didn't have a reason to reject it. She lowered her head and looked at the old eggshell in her hand. It really didn't have anything special about it. It was really ordinary. "Thank you." Huamin held the bullet shell in her hand and thanked Suyu. "Huamin, happy 24th birthday." After that, Suyu turned around and left. Looking at Suyu's back, Huamin was momentarily moved. This man always did bold and crazy things, which was unexpected. Just as Huamin was about to get into the car, Suyu suddenly said loudly without looking back, "It represents a wish. If you have any wish, you can bring it to me and I will help you fulfill it. As long as I can do it, I will do it for you." If Huamin was a little touched before, then at this very moment, he was deeply shocked. It turned out that Suyu had not given him a bullet shell, but a wish. This was a huge promise. Even if she casually wrote a check, or asked for a sky-high villa, or a luxurious sports car. Even the shares of Imperial Star. As long as she was willing to ask, as long as Suyu could do it, how big of a birthday present was this? Huamin looked at the inconspicuous bullet shell and suddenly felt that this gift was too heavy. "Inside the motorhome, how is it? Is it done?" Wei Liao and Tang Chuan hurriedly asked. "Emichim," she accepted it. "Perfect, but, did you really agree to one of her wishes, even if she asked you to marry her?" Tang Chuan questioned. "You wish. If only that were the case, our Lord Su would be overjoyed." Wei Liao rolled his eyes at Tang Chuan. "There's no rush. She might come to me with the bullet shell when she thinks about it," Suyu said quietly. Back then, when he was carrying out a mission, he was hit by a bullet when he was fighting with the enemy. At that time, the bullet was in the left side of his chest and almost pierced his heart, almost killing him. Therefore, he felt that it was a lucky bullet shell. After the surgery, he asked the nurse to keep it for him as a memento. Then, he carried it with him all the time. In the blink of an eye, several years had passed. Last night, he suddenly came up with the idea of giving it to Huamin. In the end, he set up this trap today. Fireworks and bullet shell, this combination was unprecedented. Suyu was a weirdo among weirdos. When Huamin returned home, Qin Chu was still at work. After she cleaned the house, she sat on the sofa and watched TV. The evening news was reporting about the fireworks at Duga. However, the media did not mention Suyu, nor did they dare to. At that moment, Huamin's phone suddenly rang. Chapter 484. "Sis, are you off work yet?" "Yeah, I just got home." "What are your plans for tomorrow?" Jixin asked mysteriously. "I don't know yet, Qin Chu isn't home yet." "Sis, why don't you take Qin Chu home?" "Tomorrow, he'll come back to our place." "Home?" "I don't think so, Mom would be furious." Huamin said hesitantly. "But they'll have to see each other eventually, maybe we can use this opportunity to resolve their relationship." "I don't have classes tomorrow, so I'll be home after I take the day off." "I'll help you then, Mom won't make things too difficult for you." "Although she's been mad at you over this, I saw her buy some wool a few days ago. I think she's knitting an autumn sweater for you, it's probably your birthday present." If you don't come back, she'll be disappointed. Jixin's words made Huamin waver slightly. She did want to take Qin Chu home, but what about her mom? Okay, I'll think about it. Okay, I'll wait for your news, sis. Oh right, you better come back, I got you a present too, Jixin said with a giggle. Got it, little rascal. After she hung up, she received a WeChat message from Zhu Lingling, who was also asking about tomorrow's plans. Gao Ran said before that the four of them were going to have a little get-together, but Qin Chu wasn't home yet, so they couldn't decide on the specifics. Just as she was thinking, Qin Chu opened the door and walked in. You're back. Huamin jogged over in slippers to get Qin Chu's slippers. You haven't eaten yet, right? Let's go get changed, we're going to eat seafood. Qin Chu hugged Huamin dotingly. Seafood, okay, I like it. After speaking, Huamin immediately went to the sofa to grab his jacket. The two of them then drove to a famous seafood restaurant. Should we ask Gao Ran and Lingling out? No need. It's rare for us to be alone, Qin Chu rejected. Alright, but I received a red packet from someone today. Huamin stuck out his tongue and laughed. Qin Chu took the menu and ordered all of Huamin's favorite seafood. Hubby. I want to confess something to you. Is it about the fireworks? I got it. No, there's more besides that. It's Su Yu, right? Qin Chu seemed to have guessed it. Huamin nodded. Then, she told him about how Su Yu gave her the bullet shells. She didn't want to hide anything from Qin Chu. Qin Chu didn't have much of an expression when he heard this. He just nodded. If he wants to give it to me, then let him. Hubby, aren't you jealous? Why should I be jealous? He's not a threat to me. Fine, Mr. Qin is in his tsundere mode again. Huamin chuckled. Hubby, what are our plans for tomorrow? Huamin asked expectantly. Nothing much, just work as usual, Qin Chu purposely said. Then, he lowered his head and sipped on his tea. Huamin was instantly disappointed. She pursed her lips and didn't say anything else. Honey, what's wrong? Nothing. You don't look too happy. No, I'm born with a sad face. Huamin pouted. Qin Chu's lips curved up slightly, then, he reached out his hand and pinched Huamin's cheek. Okay, I'll stop teasing you. I won't go to the company tomorrow. I'll listen to my goddess Hua's orders 24/7. Really? Huamin immediately smiled in surprise. Absolutely. Then you can't go back on your word. Listen to me. Emichim, I won't. I'll listen to you. Even if you want me to do it 7 times tonight, I'll do my best to satisfy you. Ahem, what are you talking about? Huamin immediately blushed. Seeing Huamin's embarrassed expression, Qin Chu smiled. His smile was relaxed and handsome. Mr. Qin, cut the crap. Hurry up and take out my birthday present. Huamin reached out her hand and demanded her birthday present. She was looking forward to seeing what Qin Chu would prepare for her birthday after 7 years. Chapter 485. Who would ask for a present? Aren't you ashamed? Qin Chu purposely laughed. Fine, I don't care. Hurry up and give it to me. This was the first time Huamin acted like a spoiled little girl, just like 7 years ago. She was rude and unreasonable, but Qin Chu spoiled her. Okay, I'll give it to you after dinner. Then I'll eat quickly. After speaking, Huamin couldn't wait to dig in. After a seafood feast, Qin Chu drove her to a place. It was a place she had never been to before. Where are we going? Huamin was confused as she looked at the unfamiliar route. To get your birthday present, Chin Chu said mysteriously. Don't be funny, did you dig a hole and bury my present in the mountains? Huamin asked with a smile when she saw that the car was heading toward South Hill. Something like that. You're so perverted. The two chatted and laughed along the way, and finally, after about 40 minutes, they arrived at their destination. It was indeed South Hill. Apparently, the government was going to develop this area in the future because there were a few natural hot springs here. There were golf courses, resorts, and the largest wetland park nearby. Most importantly, the mountain here faced the ocean. If one stood on the mountain, they would be able to overlook the night view of the entire city. It was very, very beautiful. There had been rumors that GK had bought this land. Seeing how mysterious Chin Chu was, Huamin thought that the rumors were most likely true. The rumors are true, right? What rumors? After Chin Chu parked the car, he held Huamin's hand and got out of the car. They said that GK bought out the rights to develop South Hill. Yeah, my dad bought this land 10 years ago. In the past 2 years, the government has started to develop it. It has the potential to become the busiest new district in the city aside from the city center. Huamin nodded. The scenery is not bad. Other than the distance from the city, everything else is good. The corners of Chin Chu's lips curled up. Then, he grabbed Huamin's hand and led her upstairs. The mountain road was very flat and there were bright street lamps on both sides. They were shaped like water droplets and looked very romantic. Are we going to the top of the mountain? Yes. Then why don't you drive up? Wouldn't it be tiring to walk? Huamin was puzzled. There are some things that you have to experience slowly and attentively. You can't experience it by driving, Chin Chu said meaningfully. Hey, you should have told me earlier that you wanted to climb the mountain. I would have changed my shoes. Huamin frowned as he lowered his head and looked at his shoes that were slightly too small. If he had known this would happen, he would have worn sports shoes. Chin Chu took a few steps and suddenly squatted on the ground. Then, he looked back at Huamin and said, Honey, come up. Do you want to carry me? But I'm very heavy. Huamin smiled. I can carry you no matter how heavy you are. Come up. Chin Chu's persistence moved Huamin's maiden heart. She slowly walked over and laid on Chin Chu's broad back. She wrapped her arms around Chin Chu's neck and slowly got up from Chin Chu. Step by step, they walked slowly. Huamin suddenly felt that this was the most peaceful and beautiful time she had had in the past 7 years. It was just the two of them, late at night, quietly on the mountain road with street lamps on both sides. Chin Chu carried her on his back and walked up step by step. At that moment, Huamin suddenly had the idea of singing a song. And she actually did it. She pressed her head tightly against Chin Chu's back. She tilted her head and looked at the beautiful night sky as she softly sang, Whatever you say, I'm willing to do. The rocking melody of a little train. Everything can be true. I will believe everything you say because I trust you completely. The delicate love, the heavy feeling of a blanket, the familiar sense of security after being exposed to the sun. The soup we share, 2 spoons in a bowl. The left side of my heart, it's so warm. I want to say that you're actually very good, but you don't know it. You're really good to me, you don't ask for anything in return. When you love someone, you want them to live well. From the bottom of your heart, you're more important than yourself. After Huamin finished singing, she thought that Chin Chu would be very touched. Who knew that he would say, Honey, you didn't sing out of tune today. Chapter 486. Pfft. Chin Chu, do you have a death wish? How dare you say that I sang out of tune? Huamin raised her head and flicked Qin Chu's head. No, I meant that I didn't sing out of tune at all. It's amazing. Huamin, fine, it wasn't her fault that she was tone deaf. Fine, she just didn't have the talent for music. She wanted to sing a song to liven things up, but he didn't seem to appreciate it, honey. Yeah. Will you carry me for the rest of your life? Huamin suddenly asked in a sad tone. Qin Chu paused slightly and stopped walking. Then, he said, as long as you're willing, I'll carry you for the rest of my life. Then I'll eat more and gain more weight. Let's see if you can carry me then, Huamin purposely said with a smile. If I can't carry you, then I'll hug you. If I can't carry you, then I'll carry you. Qin Chu said as he walked. Huamin didn't say anything else. Instead, she quietly laid on Qin Chu's back and enjoyed the beauty of this moment. She loved Qin Chu very much and cherished the time they spent together. However, she always felt uneasy. She didn't think that she was such a lucky person. She didn't think that happiness would come so easily. Therefore, when she was at her happiest, she always worried that she would lose it. Maybe it was groundless fear. Anyways, Huamin always felt uneasy. The more she thought about it, the more scared she became. Therefore, she tightly hugged Qin Chu. Honey, are we there yet? After a long time, Huamin felt that Qin Chu's steps were very slow. It seemed like he had reached his physical limit. We're here, Qin Chu said as he slowly bent down and gently placed Huamin on the ground. When she saw everything in front of her, she felt like she was dreaming, because everything was too unreal. Qin Chu waved his hand, and the guard at the door immediately opened the door. Looking ahead, there was a green lawn of more than 500 square meters. In the middle was a circular fountain. When the fountain sprayed out, it formed a rainbow arc coupled with the 7 colored lights. It was as dazzling as a real rainbow. After passing through the lawn and the fountain, there was a huge castle in the middle. To be exact, it was a villa in the style of an ancient castle. It was 3 stories tall, but its length and width were both very large. It seemed to be built like a 5-star hotel. On both sides of the door were shallow swimming pools, and in the middle were wooden steps that led to the entrance of the villa. It was luxurious yet dreamy. It was Huamin's first time seeing such a stylish house. He was amazed at first sight. Honey, this is... Huamin looked at Qin Chu in disbelief. Your birthday present. It's too luxurious. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand and walked all the way to the door. Then, he took out a key card and a key. The name here is yours. Do you remember when I told you that the South Hill Villa was being renovated when we got our marriage certificate? Is that why we're living in Imperial Park now? Yeah, I remember. Huamin vaguely remembered something like that. At the time, he thought that Qin Chu was just saying it casually. Who knew that the South Hill Villa really existed? But, this is such a huge project. How much money and manpower did it take? Huamin couldn't help but sigh. It took me 2 years to build this house. When I was still in the United States, my dad asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I drew this blueprint and told him to build me a house on Nanshan Hill according to it. When I returned to China, the house had already taken shape. I spent 4 months decorating it. Now, it's just completed. It's just before your birthday, so I fulfilled one of my wishes. It must have cost a lot. Huamin looked at the huge project and felt his heart ache. Not a lot. It's less than 400 million yuan in total, Qin Chu said word by word. 400 million yuan. Oh my god, that's crazy. Huamin felt that spending 400 million yuan on a house was too much. Let's go in and take a look. I'm sure you'll like it. Huamin took the key card and key, carefully opened the door, and walked in. Everything in front of her shocked her once again. Chapter 487. The living room was spacious and bright. There was a 3-meter-tall chandelier above her head. It was all made of crystal and looked very luxurious. The entire living room was lit up as if it was daytime. The chandelier went from the first floor to the third floor. It was similar to the design of a 5-star hotel lobby. The most important thing was that the surrounding walls were circular. The high-quality wood was pasted with high-end wallpaper. The walls were filled with famous European paintings. It was very reminiscent of the Louvre. The entire design was like a European palace. The most important thing was that Huamin didn't see where the door was. Where would she go to the second and third floors? Are you looking for the door? Yes. Huamin nodded. The door is designed to be invisible. Look, it's a landscape painting on both sides. Just gently push it open. After speaking, Qin Chu walked over and gently pushed open a painting. It was actually a door. It was too magical. Huamin felt like she was Alice in Wonderland. This design is amazing. Was it your idea or the designer's? Huamin asked excitedly. What do you think? Qin Chu chuckled. Then, he pulled Huamin to tour the place. There was a kitchen, guest room, master bedroom, bathroom, movie theater, billiard room, yoga room, and piano room. Every room had its own decoration style. There were many types of bedrooms. There were Mediterranean decorations, simple European ones, mix and match ones, and postmodern ones. The tea room was decorated in China style. There was an expensive zither and a high-quality tea set. Everything was available. Huamin suddenly felt that this wasn't a new home. It was more like a museum. Finally, Qin Chu brought her to a baby's room on the second floor. The boy's room was designed in sky blue. The wallpaper was blue. The bed was shaped like a pirate ship. Even the furnishings were some Transformers, robots, Ultraman, Spider-Man, and other superheroes. The girl's room was pink. The wallpaper was musical notes and the moon. The bed was round with a pink curtain. It was very dreamy. The furnishings in the room were some Barbie dolls, Crouching Bear, Pink Piggy, and Ollie dolls. It was so cute. Even the details in the child's room are so exquisite. You're so meticulous. Huamin picked up the small decorations in the room and couldn't bear to put them down. This will be our home in the future. We and our children will always live here, so it's worth it no matter how much effort we put into it. The view from here is very beautiful. Against the mountain, facing the sea, halfway up and at the foot of the mountain, I plan to build a park like Disneyland for our children and the children of the entire sea city. It will be free for all children. What do you think, honey? Huamin looked at Qin Chu and her heart fluttered slightly. She put her arms around his neck and said, Mr. Qin, do you know how high and mighty you look right now? I'm not that tall. I'm only doing this for our child. This was something that Qin Chu had planned when he and Huamin got married. Later, Huamin said that she wanted a child. Qin Chu was ecstatic. He did all of this in silence, and Huamin just wanted to share the fruits of his labor with him. I'm suddenly so jealous of her. Who? Our child. She's not even born yet, and you're already going through so much trouble. I'm so jealous. Huamin chuckled. Qin Chu pinched the tip of her nose lovingly. You're such an idiot. Hey, okay, let's not talk about this. You're making it sound like I'm already pregnant. It's still early. I don't know when I'll get pregnant. It's okay. We'll just wait for her to come. Of course, we'll work hard to welcome her. Then, Chin-Chu carried Huamin up to the master bedroom on the top floor. Huamin looked at Chin-Chu's gentle eyes. She was once again lost in his deep love. Chapter 488. South Hill Manor, a children's playground, and a colorful fountain. Chin-Chu tried his best to fulfill Huamin's dream of being a princess, allowing her to bask in immense happiness. After a round of lovemaking, Huamin went to take a bath. When she came out of the shower, supper was already prepared. On the long table in the 200-square-meter master bedroom, there was a candlelit dinner of steak, foie gras, caviar, and Boston lobster. There was also an intricate birthday cake with a cartoon girl wearing a nurse's cap, looking very much like Huamin. Chin-Chu held a bottle of 1986 Lafite in his hand and raised it at Huamin. "Honey, it's midnight." "So?" Huamin walked out of the bathroom while drying her hair. "So, happy birthday." Chin-Chu's lips curled up into a gentle smile. Huamin looked at all of this beauty and suddenly felt that it was great to be 24. For Huamin's 24th birthday, Chin-Chu gifted her a mansion worth 400 million yuan. It wasn't that more money was better. The point was that this mansion contained all of Chin-Chu's blood, sweat, and tears over the past 4 months. He personally designed every single detail in the house. He was busy with work at GK while taking care of Huamin's daily life. He also secretly built this new home behind her back. The design of every room was unique. If one visited every room, they would be amazed by the owner's mind. It was as if they traveled through time, from European style to Chinese style, and then to Southeast Asian style. What Chin-Chu valued most wasn't money or time, but rather, the thought that he put into Huamin. He thought that in this world, there was no other woman that he would spend so much time and effort on. All of this was to prepare her 24th birthday present and a new home that belonged to them. Huamin changed into the white silk gown that Chin-Chu prepared for her. It was strapless, fishtail, and a thin layer of gauze covered the bottom. It felt a little like a wedding dress, very beautiful. Chin-Chu, on the other hand, was wearing a casual black shirt with expensive diamonds on the cuffs. Black and white matched perfectly, the two of them sat facing each other. Out of nowhere, another musician had appeared. It was a handsome foreign guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. He played Richard Clayderman's Starry Sky on his violin after getting used to listening to piano performances. Suddenly listening to the violin version of Starry Sky was refreshing. Because the castle villa was too big, it was impossible for them to have a world of just the two of them. There were butlers, maids, chauffeurs, and even gardeners. Huamin felt that she was truly going to live the life of a rich young mistress. After changing into the dress, Chin-Chu stood behind Huamin and helped her zip up the dress. Then, he grabbed her shoulder and said, "I wonder if I could have the honor of having Goddess Wood dance with me." "It's my pleasure to serve you, Mr. Chin." Huamin smiled and extended his hand. The two of them didn't dance the gorgeous waltz, nor did they dance the lively tango. Instead, they slowly danced to the slow rhythm of Starry Sky. Under the light, Huamin felt like a princess for the first time in her life. If she kept dancing like this, she would feel like she was in a dream. "Do you like this arrangement?" "Emichim, I really like this place, and I really like your design." Huamin was flattered. "You're the mistress of this place, so if I or our children don't listen to you, you have the right to kick us out at any time. Isn't this a little too arrogant?" Huamin leaned her head on Chin-Chu's shoulder and snickered. "Mian. Emichim. Do you have a birthday wish?" Chin-Chu asked as he held her waist with both hands and danced. "Yes, what is it?" Chin-Chu asked with a smile. Chapter 489. I'm not telling you. Huamin smiled mysteriously. Fine, I won't ask if you don't want to tell me. It must have something to do with me. Qin Chu was still arrogant. After the two danced, they ate supper together. Then, Huamin drank a lot of red wine, which was a rare occurrence. Qin Chu prepared 3 bottles of red wine, but it wasn't enough. In the end, he asked someone to bring out another bottle from the wine cellar. Luckily, this was their new home, so there was a private underground wine cellar. Huamin was on cloud 9, plus, Qin Chu was in a good mood, so he agreed to let her drink. In the end, when Huamin and Qin Chu finished the 4th bottle, she suddenly stood up, then, she walked towards Qin Chu, then, she sat down in his arms and wrapped her arms around his neck. Her eyes were a little misty. When the violinist saw this, he immediately went out of the room, not wanting to disturb the couple's private time. Mian, you're drunk. Qin Chu rarely saw Huamin act so seductively. He was actually a little nervous. I'm not drunk, I'm very sober. Huamin flirtatiously leaned against Qin Chu's ear and breathed into it. Her weak panting actually caused a subtle reaction in Qin Chu. Huamin raised her hand and unbuttoned Qin Chu's shirt. Although it seemed bold, her movements were actually very clumsy. Qin Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Honey, I can do it myself. Qin Chu smiled as he reached out and unbuttoned all the buttons on his shirt. His bronzed skin instantly appeared before her eyes. Huamin's cold little hand quietly slid in. She touched him everywhere. Qin Chu's breathing became heavy. There was only one person in the world who could so easily arouse his desire, and that was Huamin. Although they had just been intimate, however, Huamin seemed a little different after drinking. She actually changed her usual self and took the initiative to seduce Qin Chu. This was the first time. Therefore, Qin Chu had to cherish this opportunity. He lowered his head and kissed Huamin's fair neck. Then, he gently nibbled on it. Huamin felt as if there were countless small flames rising in his body, becoming hotter and hotter. The strapless gown was easier to take off. Qin Chu's slender fingers gently moved. Instantly, her chest was exposed. Hubby. Huamin mumbled. Why are you so good-looking? Your eyes are good-looking, your mouth, and your nose are also good-looking. Huamin pouted and reached out to place a finger on Qin Chu's lips. Qin Chu's eyes darkened. In my eyes, no one is prettier than you. Nonsense. You're prettier than me. Qin Chu was speechless. Fine, he admitted that his Mian was a little drunk. However, since she was beside him, he would forgive her this once. Qin Chu leaned over and bit Huamin's slightly red lips. Huamin wanted to say something, but Qin Chu blocked his mouth. This kiss went from gentle to rough, from gentle to domineering, and never stopped. Huamin felt hotter and hotter. It was as if there was a furnace hidden in his body, and his body was slowly melting. Qin Chu's reaction was obvious. The pain coming from below made him impatient. At this moment, Huamin suddenly flipped over and got off Qin Chu. Leaving Qin Chu alone in a mess. Honey, something on your body is touching me. It's uncomfortable, Huamin said in a daze. Qin Chu was speechless. Fine, he really didn't know how to explain to Huamin what it was that was touching her. Honey, we haven't. Qin Chu didn't wait for him to finish his sentence. Huamin fell onto the bed with a bang and fell asleep. Qin Chu was speechless. He swore that he would never let Huamin get drunk again. His alcohol tolerance was really bad. He was only responsible for starting the fire, not putting it out. Qin Chu sighed slightly. He got up and walked into the bathroom to take a cold shower. After he came out, he helped Huamin take off her gown. Then, he carefully carried her to the bed and held her in his arms. On this unforgettable night, Huamin's 24th birthday, he and she fell asleep in their new home. You're awake. Huamin opened her eyes early in the morning and saw Qin Chu looking at her with his head resting on his hand. You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.